prefer to watch us on YouTube, should be able to jump across there and have a look on that channel in a couple of moments. As that now is up and running. So let's have a look at the times that the guys are putting out here in this session. So around about... doesn't look like we've got too many completed. What are we looking here? 16.68 is the fastest. Jacob Dixon there putting in that time. Obviously, as you'd expect, the timing here very close together with the type of racing that we're covering. So expect to see it stay very close together for the entirety of the race. Just jumping into pit lane now, I believe, for a driver's briefing that will take place before we get underway here. And then we get into it. Really looking forward to tonight, actually. Thanks for the like there, Christian. We appreciate that. Looking forward to getting into tonight. We've got a couple of hours of really good racing to bring you here on FGM ECast. And I've been lucky enough to jump onto some of these series that are really well represented and really, really well driven in. Thanks for the follow there, Matty. Appreciate that as well. If you are joining us, do smash that follow button or give the stream a share. We certainly appreciate it. We are a self-funded passion project, I guess you would call it at this point in time, and we are doing what we love doing. So, but appreciate your support and turning up and keeping us engaged and interested in what we're doing. So, as I said, just out of this, we're going to have a 2-lap qualifying session. It is solo. And from that, driver's just doing the driver's briefing now. From that qualifying session, we will then go into the heat splits for this race. So if you are trying to work out what's going on, let us know and we will help you through it as best we can. Luckily here I do have the notes for the series which are going to help me get through it. So as I said, 2-lap lone qualifying session. Splits the grid up into their respective heats. 8 laps. The heat races, first 4 finishers automatically get into the A main, what's called the A main race, which is the big event at the end of the evening. That A main race, 35 laps. The rest go into 2 semi-mains, and the top 2 finishers of those 2 semi-mains make our field of 24 for that A main race. That's the one you want to get into. So, got plenty of quick racing here. I likened this last time around to very much getting into the idea of a horse racing call. So it's how it feels. It's non-stop for the 8 minute or the 8 laps that they run, and yeah, definitely wanting to get involved with that A main at the end. That's the goal, of course. So yeah, definitely what they want to do. Try and keep it clean and get qualified for that race at the end of the night. So we've got a minute and a half left in the driver's briefing. Good time for us to quickly mention our broadcast partners, AFTERSHOCK, your rig, your choice. The boys, Ryan and the crew out at St Kilda there, doing what they love, installing lots of brand new 3080 graphics cards I saw today on their social feed. So they'll be flat out at the moment with the release of that new graphics card from GeForce. So if you're in the market for a new computer or you want to get yourself involved in any sort of gaming, they can build you a custom built solution to help you get involved. And also Virtual Motorsport Mentor just coming up on the screen there. Chris Purnell and the team at Virtual Motorsport Mentor are the place to go if you're trying to make some extra pace. Can help you out, whether it be dirt track racing, oval track or circuit racing. Every champion has a coach, and certainly no difference in this. If you're looking to go faster, the place to go and find out how you might do that. So the session there just being advanced by the race controllers, which is fantastic for us. It means we can get underway here and get into the action. So we're into qualifying mode here. We're looking for the best 2 laps from each individual here. We're going to leave it on most exciting so that we get on board with whoever it is who's creating the pace there. We've got a massive grid of 36 38, my apologies, kart here tonight. So the guys going to want to get on it, really wanting to qualify in that top split if they can. Obviously it gets mixed up there. We've got 1707, 1708, 1710 for Wilson, Dixon and Stove respectively. Matty Hurd just dropping in with a 1711. Shade Austin there, 1717. So they get 2 laps to do it here. So Jacob Dixon, who is on screen, has finished his 2 laps up. Caden Barker doing a good job there with a 17 flat. He is now in pole position. So we've got roughly half the field now through their 2 laps. It's a very short qualifying session here, as you'd expect, with 17-second laps and only the best 2 laps. The best laps to count, as we just see a big roll there for Jaden Edge. So that's going to heavily impact his qualifying ability. We're on board now with Christian Hermansen in that all black sprint car there. So doing 17.38 on his second lap around. So sorry, a 17.10 on his second lap around to take himself up into the top 10. Tyler McQuilkin is our pole sitter, 16.87. So he will benefit from that quickest lap. We've got Regan Edwards out on track still. Come around to finish the second lap here. How are they going to go? They're going to be able to move up. Not able to improve, only slightly, so into 25th position there. Christian Hermansen stopped out on track. We've got Bailey Barnacote, who is still finishing the second lap there. That's done at a 17.19. A big roll there to finish that one off, so that's finished up. Not quite how it was planned. Dennis Black just coming across the line as well there, finishing second lap, improving to an 18.02. So 16.87, Tyler McQuilkin is the fastest on track for our qualifying session for round 2 here from Eldora. Timely comes up on the screen there, Eldora Speedway. And just waiting for the splits to come in here now. So we are currently about to grid up with grouping 1. So now we get to focus on these drivers individually. So Tyler McQuilkin is the fastest out of our qualifying grouping. He will lead us out into this race. Now with the races, they do go on the lead driver. So they get to control what happens here. Try and make sure that it goes to plan as best they can. So as they get around here, not too much to do on this lap behind the pace truck before we get into an 8-lap sprint around Eldora. I'll be looking for grip, either the low line or the high line of the track. You'll see that change during the night. You can see the wear in the center there from practice. The track state does progress through the relevant session, so it will change throughout the next set of races. So we've got McQuilkin in this, Fabish, we've got Mr. Blake Walsh, William Plant, we've got Regan Edwards, Luke Young, Hayden Lyon and Caleb Beecroft. So Tyler McQuilkin here is set out and running. A couple of drivers trying to take the high line here. We've got a few down low as well. They're trying, pioneers a little bit to try and find where the grip is going to be on this track. So you see a really good pass under there from Blake Walsh, who's just cut right the way through. But it is Tyler McQuilkin here, who was our pole position setter, down on the low line, looking to take this first heat out, make sure he gets his way through to that final race. At the moment we've got McQuilkin, Walsh, Fabish and Young looking like they're going to be the ones progressing through from this one into the A main race at the end of the night. Very close between McQuilkin and Walsh. What's important here is not whether or not you finish first necessarily, but making sure that you don't end up finishing last and missing out. Want to get into that top 4 and get right through the A main at the end of the night here. McQuilkin and Walsh doing a good job making sure of that. You've got Mitch Fabish, Luke Young coming through behind them as well. William Plant just slightly further back, so there has been a little bit of spread out of this field. So at this stage, it looks like it's going to be Fabish and Young joining Walsh and McQuilkin in our A main at the end here. So we're through 5 laps onto the 6th of this 8-lap heat race. Just moving right up to the high line there, that almost affecting McQuilkin's race. It's William Pillant there, unfortunately, looks like he's had an incident. Finding pace. Oh, wow, as he gets really wide there. Walsh nearly taking out McQuilkin in the process. Running a really nice high line here. Getting plenty of pace out of it as well as they're through onto what will be the last lap of the race here. McQuilkin, Walsh, Fabish and Young running slightly higher than qualifying pace. You see there the final lap coming up on the screen. And someone has just touched the wall there. I'm not sure if that was Walsh. Doesn't seem to have affected his pace too much. So, and we've got their race over. So it is McQuilkin from Walsh, Fabish and Young all going right through to our A main race at the end of the night. We've got Pillant and Lyon heading into those semi-finals coming up to shortly. Alright, so we're just waiting for the grid to change over here as we get into our second qualifying run for this evening. So drivers head out here. We'll just quickly run through the grid, let you know who's in this one. So we've got Caden Barker, who's off pole position, followed by Devon Stove. We've got Shaden Austin, Damon Moosh. We've got Michael Bullerman, Alec Inslee, and we've got Leaf Jason King, followed by Kane Della, who I think has not made it out onto the grid for this one. So just keeping an eye on what's going to happen here. Looking for the top 4 to go through. You want to finish in the top 6 at the worst to get that second chance of making it into the race at the end of the evening. It's behind the pace car. 8 laps here. 8 laps to get the job done. So top 4 in. Rest go into the semi-mains at the following these heat races. It'll be 2 10-lap races. Top 2 finishes from that going to A main later on in the evening. 35-lap race. And we're off and running here. Who's got the jump? Looks like Caden Barker there. They're all going to look at the low line. The last race they found some pace in the high line. Caden Barker from Devon Stove. We've got Austin and Moosh Bulliman switching positions there. So the drivers choosing to take varied lines here, high line and low line. Trying to work out where they can generate some pace as we've got a heap of changing of position. But it's been nice and clean so far. We've got Devon Stove here making a move. He's up into 2nd place. Switching back to 3rd. So the high line is the preferred line at the moment for these drivers. Make some pace. You can hear there the stones flicking up out of the tyres. We're already 3 laps in. There's anyone's game still here. Everyone's still in with a chance of making that top 4. Oh, as we have had an incident there on the top line of the track. It looks like Kane Della hitting a wall there with almost some contact from one of our other drivers. I didn't quite pick up which car number that was. But just avoiding the damage there and ending up in the wall themselves as Alec Inslee is still running 2nd here. Caden Barker's checked out. He's a 2nd in front of the field, so it looks like he's going to head through to that A main at the end. Alec Inslee, Michael Bullerman and Leaf Jason King all in the mix here for that top 4 finish. Very, very close pack here, all running the low line. 2 laps to go. Who is going to make it through here? Bullerman looking strong with Jason King, the last of our drivers there. And Devon Stove tries to close the gap here and make an impact on this top 4. This is really where the race is at. The top 3 positions have been decided. Just whether or not Devon Stove here, he's putting on the pressure, but he's going into the wide line on the final lap. Can he get it done and get his way into the direct route to that final at the end of the night? He's going to have to get it done here if he's going to do anything. I think he's going to fall just short, is he? He's got to get a better drive out of the final corner, and he has, unfortunately, just falling short. So Caden Barker taking this one out pretty comfortably in the end from Alec Inslee. We've got Michael Bullerman and Leaf Jason King heading directly through to that A main at the end of the night. Switch back over here. So into the third of our qualifying races, we've got Darcy Wilson followed by Christian Hermansen. We've got Bailey Barnacote and Murray Howell. Brock Lewis, Brian McIntyre, Nathan Black and Jaden Edge bringing out our top. So just waiting for that to happen there. Yeah, Willem Plant, it's updating itself. Obviously, all of the cars here are new to us, so it's just coming through as it updates. So we have just checked that there. The trading paints is up and running. It will no doubt be up to date by the time we get into the semis and the A main at the end of the evening. Okay, so we're just about to get underway here. We've got Darcy Wilson, Christian Hermansen at the front here, controlling the pack. Pace car will pull off in a moment or two, and we'll be underway for the third of our qualifying races. Just a little blinking there, I think, from Brock Lewis. They're really tightly packed up here, and we're off and running. Darcy Wilson gets this one underway. Once again, we see a fair split here between the top and bottom lines as the driver's looking for pace. Looks like there, Jaden Edge, unfortunately, having a small incident, so he's going to struggle to get his way back. He's going to have to make his way through the long route this evening as Darcy Wilson still leads this one from Christian Hermansen. Murray Howell has got more knocking and bopping in the background there. Not to too much effect. And we're on and running. So Howell, Hermansen, Lewis, top 4 in the top 4 at the moment. Darcy Wilson still out in front. He has checked out a little bit, a second out up the road from Barnacote, Howell and Hermansen. We've got Lewis and McIntyre battling away in the background. They're really, really close running there between Hermansen and Howell, but both getting through without any issue. Who's that running just behind them there? It is Howell taking the high line. We've got McIntyre as well. Darcy Wilson, fastest man on track, definitely checked out, nearly 2 seconds up the road. So it's definitely Barnacote, Hermansen and Howell battling it out there with McIntyre clipping right at the heels there. And it's Howell who's actually had, did he have an incident there? I didn't quite see, but he's dropped down the list. So now it's McIntyre into the top 4 and Lewis has gone round him around the outside. So definitely generating some pace in that top line of the track. Seems to be where the drivers are getting it done. So Lewis into the top 4 now. Very, very quick in that high line. In fact, he's opening up a gap as we get through. He needs to stay off the wall there. Brian McIntyre, is he going to come back? That's the question. We're on lap 6 of 8, so McIntyre needs to get it done now. So we're on board with McIntyre to see if he can pull that position back. He is just 2 tenths away from Lewis in 4th position, or is he going to have to make his way through the long way tonight? Wilson, Barnacote, Hermansen, Lewis looking like the ones who are going to get it done as we get the white flag. We're into the final lap here. McIntyre's closed the gap a long way and he's moved himself up into 4th position. They're going to switch these two. The high line seems to have more pace. McIntyre's dropped right off there, unfortunately, and has not made it through. So we've got Wilson, who's taken that one out comfortably up the road. Barnacote second. We've got Hermanson there dropping into third. And Brock Lewis also making his way directly through the A main. Very, very close racing there. McIntyre's going to have to go the long way through as we get into the last of these runs before we have our two heat races, the two semi-mains before the A-main finisher. So who out of these guys is going to make it through? We've got Boyd Bowden, Max Donnelly, Darren Patterson. We've got Brad Matheson, Graham Smythe, Jamie Janmat, and we've got Dennis Black rounding out the group. Thanks very much for the follow there, David. Appreciate that as well. So this is the last grouping. 7 who is going to make it through to the A main. Everyone else, thanks for the follow. Like there, Stu. Appreciate that one. Hope you're keeping well, mate. We've got the last of our qualifying runs here before we go into the semis. Top 4 drivers go straight through to that A main final. Thanks, Michaela. Appreciate the like as well. Hope your new house is doing wonders for you. Likes are coming through thick and fast. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it as well. So we're under control here of Max Donnelly. The pace car will pull off. The pace truck will pull off, and we'll get underway. Thanks for the share there, Brayton, of course. And thank you for allowing us to stream this series that you work so hard to put together. We appreciate it. Bowden and Donnelly. Who is going to get away? The high line being the faster line so far in the evening. That will change. Those drivers, if they've been watching, will duck out to the high line. But again, we've got a big wreck starting off straight away. Daniel Patterson has had a crash, so he's going to potentially have to make his way through the long way, definitely, as he spitted in. We've got Max Donnelly in the lead from Boyd Bowden. We've got Brad Matheson and Graham Smythe. Graham Smythe and Matheson here in a battle already. Jamie Janmat right on the back of them too, so it's anyone's game at this point in time. Obviously very early on in this 8-lap sprint. Just into lap 2, finishing lap 2 off now. And it's Donnelly and Bowden fighting for the lead. Want to be in that top 4. Definitely don't want to have to go the long way if you can avoid it. Only the top 2 from our next 2 races will go through to that A main at the end, and you start at the back. Definitely the hard way to get the win tonight. But Donnelly and Bowden, they're moving into that low line still, preferring that. In fact, Donnelly running right in the middle there, so that's the practice line. So it's good to see him extracting some pace out of that, rather than having to run low or high. He's ducked back down to defend his position a little bit there, wanting to make sure he gets through. So this top 3 here, Bowden, Donnelly, and Smythe, looking like they're the goods to go. We've got Janmat and Matheson battling hard here for that last qualifying position. Matheson now taking that up. He's going to be the 4th driver, the last automatic qualifier. Is he? Oh, he's gone a little bit hard there. He's struggled to get the drive out of the corner, and Janmat has moved up into 4th position. He got really, really good drive, and that has helped him gap Matheson, and it looks like, unless he does anything silly, he's going to be the one going through. So Janmat moving his way up into that 4th position. It's on at the front. There is nothing between Bowden and Donnelly, as you can see there. Gives a really good indication of the lines. The top line still seems to be that faster line where most of the drivers are running. Got the white flag out now. Thanks for the follow, Adam. White flag out now. These guys are really trying to get it done. And it's going to be Bowden, Donnelly, Smythe, and it's going to be Janmat who's going to get directly through to the A main. Really, really good running there. Unfortunate for Daniel Patterson at the start of the race there, just getting on the wrong side of an incident, and that has resulted in him missing this one, but he will get to go again at this first of the 2 semis. It is absolutely non-stop, this stuff. I love it. So we've got 2 semi-mains coming up now, with the rest of all of the non-qualifiers split into those 2 grids. So, and then follow that by the A main. So what do we got here? We've got Jacob Dixon, Matthew Hurd, Brandon Thomas, we've got Boyd Westbury, Dion Gregory, Colwood and Adam Day in this first of the 2 remaining runs. Looks like his profile picture there. Interesting one. So anyway, we move on here. We've got the top 2 of this field to go through to the last of the 4 grid spots in our A main coming up shortly. So you're wanting to get into that top 2 of the field. So there's going to be fights on here. There's nothing to lose. You've got to get it done. These are going to be good races to watch if you're joining us. We've got 10 laps to get the job done. So slightly longer than our 8-lap qualifying or heat races. 8 laps to get it done here. In those 10 laps here, top 2 qualifiers, where you want to be. That's where you get to take home the spot in the A main to come up in not too many minutes time. It's going to be Dixon take us away with Hurd. Already got Colwood. Oh, good start there in again in that top line. Drivers are going to have to work it out. Oh, there's a little bit of bumping, a little bit of shove there. And oh, we're going to have an incident here, are we? Yes, we are. That's very unfortunate for Matthew Hurd. He got caught up in that one. Not quite seeing that as his fault either. Got Colwood dropping down the field as well. So at the moment, it's Jacob Dixon and Braden Thomas who are in the 2 qualifying spots for this one. Still trying to work out which cameras are best for this one to give you guys the best view of the action. You can see there Braden Thomas doing a really good job on that high line. About 1.5 seconds up the road at this stage from Colwood, who's in 3rd. So the early run in the start's going to pay dividends for them here. Looking like that low line may end up being the place to be during the A main final. Lots of the guys running in the high line now. Got Colwood in 3rd, trying to close the gap to 2.5 seconds up to Braden Thomas at the moment. Jacob Dixon, our race leader, doing things comfortably as it stands. 1.5 seconds up the road from Thomas. So as we're through 5 laps now on the 6th lap, so over halfway through the race now. And take up the first of those 2 positions. Braden Thomas looking the goods to take the second of those 2 positions in the A main. So it's going to be a good night for a number of our drivers. That's why a lot of the people like this category. It's a good place to come and run. Oh, there's a huge incident there for Thomas. How's that going to affect him for the balance of the race as the white flag comes out? Colwood there trying to take advantage. Doesn't look to have affected Thomas's pace too much. So he's going to get through. So it is going to be Dixon and Thomas who make it through. So that was interesting there. That actually was our 5th of our qualifying run. So we had enough drivers there to have the 5th one, which is why it was only an 8-lap race. So apologies for not picking that one up there. So we had a 5th of our qualifying run. So this, in fact, is actually the first of our consolidation runs or our semis. So it will be the top 2 of this race who go through into the A main. So we've got Howe from Pillant, we've got Austin Day, Edwards, Black, Gregory, Nathan Black as well. So we've got Dennis and Nathan Black and Kane Della rounding out the top 9. I don't know that Kane's made the grid again, so he may have had to pull out of this one for the evening. So top 2 of this certainly going through to our A main at the end of the night. This will be a 10-lap race, as we mentioned before. Again, a really good time to mention Sim Blacks. If you're looking for sim gear, they're the place in NZ to go and get it. fantastic supporters of the NZSR guys and everything that they do for the sim racing scene. So we've got William Plant. He's got a fantastic looking livery on that car there. Looks like William Plant Equipment Hire, Plant. Try and have a look at that. It's kind of shiny looking livery on it. We love a good livery, like anyone else. So how Plant going to lead us around and get this one underway? And we are off and running. 10 laps here. This is it for the night. There's been some contact by the sound of things in the back of the field. Everyone getting through though. And it is Plant out in the lead from Murray Howell in the high line. Shaden Austin, Dennis Black as Shaden Austin moves up into second position. Plant's going to have to search around for a bit of drive if he wants to get through into the final race. Yeah, there you can see he's moved up into the top line. We did have someone, Regan Edwards, just unfortunately clipped the wall there, and they will be out of this one. Plant, Austin Howell still battling for the lead of this race and those top two positions at the moment. Austin in a good position to maintain that. It's Plant who's got all the work to do. Dennis Black has had an accident. Dean Gregory as well. So the drivers are dropping like flies at the moment, as Howell and Austin still out in the lead of this one. 1.5 seconds in front of Plant behind them. Laps to go in this one. Still waiting to see who can bring it home. It is Howell and Austin still in control. Adam Day's had an accident in the back of the pack as well, so we heard that one come through. Jumped into pit lane there. Howell from Austin, still 1.8 seconds out from Plant behind them, so these two look like they've got it sewn up. Austin actually fastest last time around. Looking to get the job done. Howell and Austin comfortable at the front. 3 laps to go this time around. There's nothing in it at the front. Oh, as we've had an impact with the wall there for Austin, and on 2 wheels, there it goes. They've rolled it. Oh, right the way through there. William Plant just managing to make his way through and avoid the damage there. He's going to come home, do the Bradbury, and make his way through into the A main after Shaden Austin clipped the wall and just couldn't quite regain control of the car as they get their way through onto the final lap. White flag this time around. It's going to be Howell and Plant who are going to take it through to the end. It's a fantastic one for them to go through and get done. And well done. Got to be there, you've got to be in the right spot at the right time, and he managed to avoid that incident. And Murray Howell's run through, and William Plant taking out second. So they'll go through to the A main and get it done. That was a big incident there from Shaden Austin. Just unfortunately not quite managing to get it back on the ground and keep things going. So here we go into the main. The second of our consolidation runs, or the second of our semis, I should say. Devon Stove in this one. We've got Brad Matheson, Hayden Lyon, Brian McIntyre, my apologies. We've got Matty Hurd, Damien Mush, and we've got Daniel Patterson, Edge, and Beecroft, Caleb Beecroft in this one. So 10 laps for this. And let's see how they go as they come out onto the track. Haven't really seen a change of line yet for these guys, so let's see what happens here. Try and make sure I keep you abreast of what's going on in this one as we get it underway. So it's going to be Stove and Matheson who take us away in this second qualifying run. Here's Stove, who's got the control of the field. Matheson, McIntyre and Lyon. Top 4 cars. Everyone bunched up nicely here. This is the second 10-lap race. Top 2 to go through to complete the grid for the run tonight. Plenty of support in there for Matheson. As well as we're off and running. Lyon, Stove get a cracking start in that bottom run. In that bottom line, they move right to the top though as they go through to try and qualify. Lyon, Stove, Matheson, Hurd. We've got Moosh, McIntyre, Patterson, Edge and Beecroft. Caleb Beecroft there as well. So Lyon and Stove at the front of this pack, trying to lead. It's very, very tightly grouped as we head through onto lap 2, moving up into that high line. A couple of the drivers as well. I think still that's where the grip is. Got a couple ducking down to the low line. Looks like Devon Stove running down onto the low line now as well. Matty Hurd finding some extra pace, extra drive out of that as Jaden Edge has had an accident at the back of the pack. He's ducked into pit lane. Oh, very, very close there between Stove and Hurd. Almost both wrecking one another. Trying to keep getting it done. 22.61, so Stove and Hurd swapping the lead here. These guys trying to find pace in that high line, going real high on the line there, almost painting the wall brown. Stove and Hurd still in front here. It's really tight. Moosh right on the back there. Lyon not out of this one yet either. 7 laps to go. It's not over till it's over. As you saw in the last of the qualifying runs there with 2 laps to go, a change in the top 2 positions. Stove, Hurd and Moosh all together here. It's all for them to do. One of them is not going to get through. Still got plenty of time to make sure that it's not them. You want to try and get away from this grouping if you can. 2 running the high line there with Stove and Hurd. Stove just moving up real high there, and that hasn't helped him at all as he drops to 3rd. So now it's Hurd in the lead from Damon Moosh as well, who's done well to move himself up into 2nd place. Fastest on the track as we speak. Definitely getting right into that high line to get the drive out of the corner. It's working well for them. 4 laps to go. It'll be 3 as we get past the start-finish line after this corner. Hurd's opening up a little bit of a gap. Damon Moosh got a safety net as well over Stove behind him. That choice from Stove to try and run into that high line cost him a bit of time. Trying to keep these things off the wall as best they can as well. And see what they get to see there. On board with Matthew Hurd here, right behind the visor, so you can see the impaired vision that they get with the mud on the visor there, trying to keep things going. He's gone the clear wipe just to help us out here. Matty Hurd in the lead. Daniel Patterson's had a crash there on the low line. Damon Moosh trying to get through. That might have slowed him down there. It's a big gamble to duck down onto the low line on the final lap of the race. Looks like it's going to pay off for him though. It's to go across the checkered flag, and we've got Hurd and Moosh go through to our A main coming up next. Fantastic run from those guys. 3 races close together, trying to make their way through, and that will be it. So what should happen now is we consolidate our grid into the A main final, which will be 35 cars heading into, sorry, a 35 lap final I should say, heading into that one. And we'll run you through the grid. It's a big one. 4-minute warm up here, which I think the drivers will enjoy. The track conditions, particularly for the guys that went straight through from the qualifying runs into the A main, the track conditions will have changed for them since that happened. So we are at Eldora. Session getting fast forwarded there as you expect, so that we can get into the 35 lap main race. So who has made it? See that we've got the ticker up and running across the top. We've got McQuilkin, who was the fastest in that first heat as well. So the top qualifier there from Barker. We've got Wilson and Bowden. We've got Dixon and Walsh, followed by Inslee, Barnacote. We've got Donnelly, Thomas, Fabish, Bullerman. We've got Hermanson, Smythe, Wood, Young. We've got Jason, King, Lewis, Jan, Matt, Westbury, Hal Hurd, Pillant, and Damon Mush, the last of our qualifiers from that last race you just saw. So 35 laps here. It's going to be frantic. 35 laps. We've got 24 cars on the track. And Tyler McQuilkin, our pole position winner, our fastest qualifier, also our first through to the A main, is the man to beat here. You can see that line on the track rising slightly. Get towards the end of the day at Eldora Speedway. If you've never been to the Speedway in real life, it is absolutely fantastic. So make sure you get along. There's plenty of it that goes on when everything is back up, open and running. It's a really great night out with the kids as well. So do jump along to your local Speedway track. There's Speedway on most weekends. It's a really, really good category. So do get down to your local Speedway track and have a look at that. As we're off and running here, there's already been a few touches in the background there. Got some green flag running here as everyone's trying to find their track position. And it's Caden Barker who's moved into the lead in that top position there. You can see him working away on the steering wheel, trying to get the thing to slide. He's hit the wall and had a huge wreck. How's that going to play out for the rest of the field? We've got a yellow flag here with... fortunately, it looks like just Caden Barker being impacted by that one. So straight away under a yellow flag here. Just got a little bit loose there and ended up taking the wall. Let's have a quick replay of this one. As you can see, it gets really high, just hits the wall and ends up flipping his way through. I don't think anyone else got impacted by that, so just a solo car accident, but enough to bring out the yellow flag. And probably pretty lucky actually that no one else got caught up in that. So Boyd Bowden currently in the lead of this one. Tyler McQuilkin is in second. So we'll get underway shortly and get back into the racing action. At the moment, Dave Janmat's just down in 19th, having just made it through. So we'll get back underway this lap. Get up and running. It was all nose to tail here for the restart, and we're off and running. It's at the control of our leader, Boyd Bowden, and he is trying to cut and run, as you do, in that high line. You can see there's not a lot of room there. It looks like we had another incident, did we? No, it's managed not to trigger any issue for us there. It's Bowden from Wilson. We've got McQuilkin, Barnacote, Inslee, Dixon, Fabish, Donnelly, Bullerman and Hermanson rounding out our top 10. We are on board with Boyd Bowden, who is running the real high line here. Got to try and find out where the pace on the track is towards the end of the race. He's looks like he's gapping there. Bailey Barnacote and Liv Jason King, but they've had an incident, hasn't triggered a yellow or caution period for us, which we're grateful for. There's Bowden, Wilson and McQuilkin battling for the lead here. That high line looking like it's paying dividends. 1.2 seconds in front now, Bowden from Wilson and McQuilkin. So these drivers are going to want to be trying to change their lineup if they can to get that extra pace out of the track. You can see there Wilson right up in the fence, looking for that drive, as Alec Inslee's also had a crash down the back of the pack, and that has caused Willem Pillant equally to have a crash, and leave Jason King. So drivers here getting involved with one another's incidents, which doesn't help them. Again, hasn't triggered a yellow flag. Darcy Wilson, Jacob Dixon, Tyler McQuilkin all battling for the top 3 positions, and we do have a yellow flag again. So we'll go back and try and unravel the events that took place there. I think maybe the Inslee and Pillant crash might have caused the majority of it. You can see there, that's Alec Inslee there with a big incident. And yeah, unfortunately just clipping William Pillant, and then Jason King unfortunately just getting involved in the back of it there. Not much he could do about that, and he has jumped out of the car. As we head back live, just going to wave around there for one of our tail enders. So we've got Bowden, Wilson, Dixon and McQuilkin as the top 4 cars here. They'll single file restart. The lights still on the safety car at the moment. Pace car. Not sure if they call it pace car or safety car in sprint racing. Find that out. Just waiting for the lights to go out here as we sit under caution. Lights are out, so we're getting set to go racing again. Simblacks NZSR Development Midget Series here from Eldora. Single file restart, and we're off and running again. Boyd Bowden off and running to get us back underway. Let's hope for some strong 22 laps of green racing here. It's very tight at the front there between Bowden and Wilson. Right on one another, nose to tail. You can see there, just hunting, and it is Wilson who's taken the lead. Just momentarily there from Bowden on that high line. These two are very close together. You can see here as we're on board with Wilson, him trying to catch back up and get the job done. Big slide. Oh, and he's clipped the wall there. That's slowed him down significantly. Not what he wanted, and that's let Bowden out into the lead half a second. So it is Bowden Wilson from Tyler McQuilkin, our fastest man for most of the night. Just not too far back here from, in fact, right on, getting pursued by Dixon. So just struggling to find the speed that he had early on in the evening. There's more contact between cars and walls behind us. Keep trying to look through this one. As you can imagine, there's lots of battles going on back down through the field. Looks like Damon Mush unfortunately has had a crash that may trigger another yellow flag. Tyler McQuilkin unfortunately also getting involved in that one. So another yellow flag period here in the A main. So we're into 20 laps of this 35 lap race. Let's have a quick look at what happens as we get back on board with Damon Mush. So he's on high line and they just moved it up onto the wall. So nothing, I was going to say nothing too severe, and then of course the inevitable rollover happens. I'm not sure how that involves McQuilkin, so we'll jump into his incident separately. Oh, and he's just run up the wall unfortunately and rolled, so looks like what was basically a single car incident there. Jumping back on board with Boyd Bowden, the front of our pack. So plenty of action here in the A main. That happens when there's 24 cars on track. 20 laps in, so we're going to probably be 22 laps in by the time we go back green again. A couple of wave rounds happening there. All the drivers sitting in that top line. Other than Bowden, who looks like he's having a little bit of a party there, down in the middle of the track. Lights are out on the safety car though, so he'll be getting himself back into position. And having to think about how he is going to use this to his advantage to get away and try and re-establish that lead. Here all the cars go through there and we're off and running again. We've got 13 laps to go now this time around. Boyd Bowden in the lead of this one, as he has been for most of this A-main race so far. We've had 3 safety periods. Darcy Wilson right on his heels. Jacob Dixon there going right through bottom to top and taking the lead of this one. So he has found a little bit of pace there in the restart and currently in front. Now he needs to try and create a gap here. We've got Boyd Bowden right behind him. All drivers in the high line here. That's where the pace has been all night on this track. So they're using that as much as they can. I think that's also what's caused a lot of our incidents with drivers just getting a little loose riding the walls and that rolling the cars. We've got Donnelly and Hermanson now who've both had accidents, and another caution coming out here. So the driver's running very high tonight, and that causing a number of the issues I think that we're seeing with these rollovers. So what are we going to do from here? We're going to end up with probably 8 laps to run in this one. Let's have a quick look at what happened to Donnelly there. First of the 2 incidents that triggered this caution period. Oh, and he's just unfortunately locked wheels with the car moving from top to bottom line there. And we may see what happens here. No, Hermanson there. I'm not sure what happened to him. Separate incident. Oh, and it's just triggered an event for him. So he's ended up running around. And Matty Ertz had an incident here under the yellow flag. Not too sure what that is there. Maybe just a little bit of contact or something like that, was it? Looks like he's just waiting for pit lane to open, potentially. Not too sure there, but definitely stopped on the track. So anyway, we'll head back live. Gary, Jamie's currently running, car 25 is currently running in 13th position at the moment. So up 6 spots from where he entered this one, so not doing too bad. As we're back under green flag again, and it's Dixon taking us away from Bowden, Wilson, Blim and Smythe. All of them trying to look for the right line to get this one done. Brock Lewis has had an incident there, so hopefully that doesn't trigger a yellow flag, and it does, unfortunately. So back under yellow flag again here in the A-main. We're getting awfully close to having a sprint or 2-lap sprint race at the end of this one. And we may have put the kiss of death onto Jan Matt, who has just come up on the monitor as having had an incident as well. So we've got Brock Lewis, who started all of this. He's clipped the wall there again. That's been the problem all night. Looks like Christian Hermanson's just I'll bring you this bit of the incident. Looks like he's just got caught up in it when he's run high. Oh no, there was another little tap there, which has caused what we're seeing. That was a very, very slow rollover at the end there. And then Jamie, unfortunately, seems to have registered an incident as well. So, oh yeah, just getting loose and hitting the wall there. So, probably a little fortunate that's happened under the yellow flag. And he should be able to get back out and get running again in pit lane at the moment. So, 4 laps to go. The light's still on the pace car. Probably going to end up with a 3-lap sprint. So let's hope everyone can keep it clean. So we end up with a full 3-lap sprint race here. Be 2 laps to go by the time pace car pulls off and we get back underway. You can see there the lights are out. So this time around we will go racing. Last 2 laps of this feature race. 35 has had its share of cautions. And it's going to be Dixon from Bowden. Wilson and Fabish, what can they do to upset Jacob Dixon from taking this one out as we're off and running? 2 laps to go in this feature race from El Dorado Speedway. Bowden's moved up, holding 2nd spot here. He's in the top line. We've got Bowden and Dixon. Dixon ducks down to the low line to see what he can do to defend this lead. He's gone real high there, just manages to pull it in. He has broken away as we head into the final lap. Looks like it's going to be Dixon who's going to get this one done. Bowden, Wilson still fighting out for the minors. Going to get it done, are they? Dixon, Bowden, Wilson take out the top 3 spots. Dixon, Bowden, Wilson. We've got Fabish, Smythe in 4th and 5th. Bullerman, Moosh, Howell, Westbury and Thomas rounding out our top 10 for you there. And unfortunately, it looks like we've finished that one. It looks like Jamie Yanmet has not finished the race. Just to update our viewers asking the questions there. And congratulations to Jacob Dixon, Boyd Bowden and Darcy Wilson for taking out the top 3 spots in our feature race tonight. And yeah, unfortunately, David, you are spot on. He ended up finishing on the lid of that one. So as we are joined by Jacob Dixon. G'day, mate.
How are you?
Not too bad at all. How was that?
Oh, it wasn't a bad race. Pretty good track. Was able to capitalise in turns 3 and 4 there and get both of them. So
yeah, absolutely. Managed to keep it from the restarts as well, which was good to see. We were hoping we weren't going to end up finishing that one under a yellow flag with a flurry of caution periods just at the end there as well. Lots of guys. The track seemed like it maintained the high line all night.
Yeah, it was pretty much top predominant from practice onwards. I did my quickest bum in practice on the top as well. So yeah, it was actually quite fun. The slider line in 3 and 4 was pretty fast too at the end of there. So yeah, it was a bad one.
Good run overall. And Darcy, you managed to get into the top 3 as well from a good run during the evening. Darcy, your mic's just on mute there, mate. If you want to try and drop that one off, we'll have a quick chat to Boyd while you do. And Boyd, you had a good run as well.
Yeah, I'm stoked with that first podium. So yeah, can't thank Darcy enough for all the stuff he's helped me with, all the HSV boys, everything.
Just helping you get it done and get across the line.
It's good fun.
Excellent. Looks like Darcy. Darcy, you've got his mic undone there. Darcy, well done to you as well, rounding out our podium for this evening. As I think Darcy might just still be struggling there with his microphone. No, he's got it working now.
Yeah, no, I'd just like to thank all the boys from NZSR for putting on a good race. Boyd and Jacob for good race towards the end. All the boys at HSV Sim Labs. Just all the sponsoring True Long Arms and Kush Clothing and all the other guys that help out. And of course yourself for putting on a great stream.
No dramas at all. Yeah, no, fantastic racing again tonight. It's one of the benefits of getting to watch, get to see heaps of close stuff from you all. And it was pretty clean. I think the top line there just catching a few drivers out, which is why we ended up with those caution periods. So a good result for everyone. And yeah, looking forward to doing it all again next week as we head into round 3. So congratulations for your podiums, boys. And yeah, we'll see you next week for another run.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, so at that point in time, we're just going to chuck to a quick break before we head into the and that was the NZSR Sim Series for the development series for Simblacks on the midgets running at Eldorado. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling. What am I doing? The running at Eldora Speedway. Braith, no, unfortunately we don't have the full result up yet. Give me one moment and we can bring that up for you. Hoping that I've just been struggling a little bit with it there. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, it's just not quite wanting to. There we go, we've got it up there for you now. So that's the full result for tonight for the run with, I'll get it out properly this time, the Simblacks Midget Development Series put on by NZSR. So a strong race in the end there with the safety car periods. Fortunately, causing a little bit of damage, but we end up with a good 2-lap sprint to the end there with Dixon taking out the race ahead of Bowden and Wilson in the round 2 of the development series. So from Eldora. So what we've got to do now, we are going to jump across into our ANSCAR broadcast for tonight. And we just need a couple of minutes to change everything over to get that up for you. So we will head off to our intermission and come back with the action from AUSCAR in just a few moments.
Simrigs.com is dedicated to not only supplying quality products, but also helping you achieve your potential and goals within the sim community. Race clean. This is the most important thing to progressing in any of the racing simulators out there. Be consistent and stay on your race line. Someone that is much faster will overtake you when they can. Moving off your line to get out of the way can cause more trouble than you think. Have fun. You will wreck quite a bit. Sometimes your fault, plenty of times not your fault. Learn from it. Wreck avoidance is key. Whether you're just starting out and wanting an entry grade setup, or have been in the sim scene for years and needing a well-deserved upgrade, Simrigs.com is here to help. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. At Ferguson Group Media, we are a full-service marketing agency built for today. Day in, day out, we are about attracting attention to build brands. We believe that every business is a marketing and media business and should have access to a content creating machine. That's where we fit in. We also understand about extracting value from social media marketing and digital marketing. Video is king in producing content for your business. From it, all other forms of content can flow. We are set up to film, edit, and post-produce content at scale. This enables us to keep costs down, allowing small businesses to also access our products. Don't hesitate to reach out and chat about your content ideas. Your local digital marketing agency, Ferguson Group Media. There is an awful lot to learn, and it takes quite some time. Trying to work it all out on your own can be confusing and overwhelming. It can be super hard to get on the track, never mind being competitive. For me, I was lucky enough to get involved with a group of guys that were really fantastic and gave me a lot of knowledge and support. This helped me to progress with my skills and got me up to speed very quickly. After a solid 5 years honing my skills, I now feel I'm in a position to help others. So I'm all in on Virtual Motorsport Mentor and loving every moment. I created this platform to help drivers develop their skills and get the support and feedback they need to improve their drive lines, speed, setups, and more. My goal is to see you become the best driver you can be. The question is, how far do you want to take it? I look forward to helping you drive fast and win more. Chris, Virtual Motorsport Mentor. Would you like to get your brand in front of thousands of avid gamers? FGM ECast now has sponsorship packages available, so you can get your name in the stream and start getting the audience you deserve. Our productions are cinema and TV standard and will include everything you need to get an ad just like the ones you saw into our live streams and replays. Don't hesitate to reach out if you'd like to work together. Simrigs.com is dedicated to not only support
I'm back. Yo. I didn't even end up going for a smoke. I probably could have gone for 2 in that time, but that's alright. We're all good. I was like, couldn't be bothered. I just grabbed myself a beer. I was like, that'll do. Yep. I'm ready.
We are ready. Let's go. We're back into it tonight. Anne's car coming to you. Where are we? Where are we tonight?
We are at Irwindale.
Irwindale. Tell us a bit about Irwindale, Chris. I'm really struggling. You know, at the end of the last commentary session, I almost couldn't say what it was that we were watching. So I'm going to flick straight over. Chris Purnell jumps on to join me for Anne's car commentary tonight with what do we got? What do we got? What, blah 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 blah. What are we in for tonight, Chris?
So we're in for something a little bit different tonight. So we're at Irwindale Speedway, which is quite a unique place in itself because we've actually got 2 oval tracks here. So you've got a half-mile circuit on the outside of the track, and then a 1/3 mile circuit on the inner of the circuit. So to start off with, we're going to be kicking off with the Legend cars, which are the coolest little zippy cars in the world, I reckon. Heaps of fun to drive. They don't turn very well on an oval. They're sideways. I've been watching the practice for the last 10 minutes, and these guys have been looping it. They've been wrecking each other, so it's been really cool to watch. And then, as far as I'm aware, I think we are going to the half-mile circuit around the outside of the track. And we're driving the modified, is that correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Beautiful. So the modified is the most gripped up NASCAR you can think of. It's like an open wheeler with a cage on it, and they are sunk into the ground, and you are flat everywhere. High horsepower, lots of grip, lots of fun.
And just looking at the event itself, I'm just trying to see here what the setup is. I think we've got
a 30 lap.
50.
Oh, 50.
No, yeah, we've
lap?
got 50 laps in the Legends, and then we've got a 100 lap
in the FK.
race in the Tour Modifieds. So
Beautiful.
the closest thing to liking these things to is actually the Aussie race cars.
Yeah.
It's in fact, even with the skin that's on them, it's like exactly like the early Aussie race cars. So this was the classic Aussie race car they brought out right back when they first started. And they had this one, I think they called it the 34 Coupe, which it may well be exactly the same. And I know you and I have run these in a couple of the team sessions, and you're right, they're a zippy little thing to race around in. Not on an oval, we did it on a circuit, but zippy little things to run around with. You can throw them at just about any corner and either get it through there or do exactly what we've just seen Lachlan Aquisio do on the screen, and he'll finish off just making sure those tyres don't get used again. So what's you mentioned before that they don't like to turn, don't have a lot of grip. What's the strategy then? Obviously not a lot of banking at all.
No,
on this circuit.
Irwindale is quite low banking even on the main circuit, so it's progressive banking. So it starts off at about 6 degrees, and the highest amount of banking is 12 degrees. So as you'll see, the guys will run from the top to the from the bottom to the top to sort of build that banking up. But yeah, with the inner circuit, it's quite a flat track. It might only have 3 degrees of banking maximum, you know what I mean? So it's all going to be about getting the car right down to the bottom, then letting the car run out nice and wide, use all the track, carry the speed as much as you can, try not to fight the car too much.
So we're going to have lone qualifying here in the first of our 2 events for this evening. When we do get through this initial 50-lap race, there will be another very small period where we change over between the 2 race servers. So do bear with us while that happens. We'll have a short commercial break, and then we'll be off and running with that one as well. So yeah, sit back, buckle up, get ready for something a little bit different, because that's what this intermittent series is about for Anne's car on a Wednesday night. Of course, moving on from, and we've left the title there because there really isn't a title. Oh, no, there actually is this. This is AFTERSHOCK Speedway. So we'll actually just update that. It is the follow-on series from the Grand National 87 series, which we're running there, but it's the AFTERSHOCK Speedway series. And we're into lone qualifying there. Thanks very much for the like, Ben. We appreciate it. Carol Walden, a familiar name at the top at the moment. Lachlan Equasia. Phil Otto joins the series tonight, along with Steve Williams. A couple of new names for me this evening. Drivers you're familiar with, Chris?
Yeah, so Steve used to drive for Illusion, so I know Steve very well. Phil I've raced with many a times. Did see that John Sorensen's joined the server. He used to drive for me as well, so a couple of good guys in there. So I think it's going to spice up the racing a little bit tonight.
Because it's been a Foster show, I think, for a lot of the races that we've looked at. Obviously, we've also seen Hamish Gallagher do a reasonable job at giving him a hassle, particularly in the 87 series. So looking forward to seeing a couple more drivers giving the challenge to Edward Foster at the front of the field.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with these mixed up races, different formats and stuff, I think you're going to see guys challenging in different ways. I'm pretty sure it's a similar setup to last week with no tyres in this race, one set of tyres in the modified 100 lap race, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So it'll give a little bit of strategy again in that second race. We saw that Scott pitted a little bit earlier and it probably cost him a little bit towards the end of last week's Super Late model race. So it'll be interesting to see how guys approach it this week.
And the qualifying period here just about over. Understanding, of course, it says on the screen there 17 minutes to go. That'll be fast forward now with John Sorensen finishing the last of our qualifying 2-lap runs. And it is that man again, Edward Foster, who is the fastest on track, but we'll take you through the grid once they fast forward through the session, and that lets us do it. Thanks very much for the like there, Dave. We appreciate that one as well. And of course, as always, appreciate everyone who tunes in to the channel on a Wednesday night and at any night during the week. We've got the Australian Endurance E Championship coming to you tomorrow night from that mountain that is so famous in New South Wales. So we've got the next round of that championship to come from Bathurst tomorrow night. Plenty to see there with lots of practice going on during the week in preparation for it. But tonight, the tail end of our night started out interestingly with some Fall Guys, which is an extraordinarily frustrating game to play. I am still angry at the results from that one. And then getting into, I can actually say it now, the Midget Development Series from the guys in NZSR just prior to our broadcast here with AFTERSHOCK. So lots happening on a Wednesday night for us.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. Fall Guys was interesting to say the least. We will get that crown eventually. We've been trying for a few weeks now, and we will get it. It's just a matter of who's going to get it and when it's going to come to us.
So frustrating a game that is to play, and it's not even frustrating if you're not good at it. It's, and I'm not suggesting that I am good at it at all, actually, but it's frustrating because everyone just gets in the way. And it's an experience that you can relate to in real life, and I think that's what makes it more frustrating. Anyway, we'll bring the grid up on the screen for you now. The session has changed across there. Let's get that thing off the top of the screen so you can see what's going on. And let's get it on. We've got Edward Foster, Hamish Gallagher on the front row of the grid. Lachlan Equasia and Carl Withy, 3rd and 4th. We've got Williams and Otto, 5th and 6th. Joshua Carroll Walden, 7th and 8th. Watch for him. It was 7th and, Jason Hardigan in 8th. Watch for them to make their way through the field. Matty Hunter, who was always quick in the 87s, in 9th. Mirko Doutnak in 10th, with Roger Clark 11th. John Sorensen in 12th. And we've got Norm Clark rounding out the field in 13th there. If you are interested in getting involved with this one, do jump onto the AFTERSHOCK Facebook page and have a chat with the guys. It's a great place to get to learn. They're really good at sharing advice in the positive way and wanting to get everyone up to speed as quickly as they can. So it's a good place to come and learn, good friendly environment, plenty of feedback and advice. So jump on board AFTERSHOCK, have a chat with them, and let's build this field out a little bit more. It's grown this week over last week, which is encouraging, and I think that will continue to happen. Yeah,
definitely. Great group of guys. Racing's always tight and clean. yeah, it's always a lot of fun. So everybody gets on quite well. You have your moments with certain drivers, and then you squash it after the race, like any real race. So, yeah, great fun. Lots of racing to be had with them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They run a couple of other series with and you'll definitely have to correct me because I will get this wrong. But they run a truck series, I believe, as well as a Xfinity series.
No Xfinity series anymore. But there's a Cup series and a truck series. So
Beautiful.
There's 3 nights of racing every week, and we are green.
We are off and running. Edward Foster taking us into turn 1. A clean start for everyone. Plenty of room on this track with such small cars on a full size circuit as such as Foster it is who leads. Momentum, a big thing in these cars. So wanting to make sure that you don't get caught up or slide or spin at worst. Obviously all being equally matched technically for pace. Fixed setup series, so everyone gets in, turns the key and gets going. Probably a push button start, to be honest, as it is Foster still out in front from Gallagher. We've got Williams dropping down through the list. He has had an off track there.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, there may have been a little bit of a bump on the rear of that bumper there.
Well, we'll have a look at what happened to Williams here.
Nah, he's done it all by himself, unfortunately.
He's just got big rotation.
Yeah.
So, good thing is, running yellow flag, so his race not over. He'll jump back up onto the back of the field as that Mustang there just tries to take out a couple of our participants as Mustangs do. It's interesting, we were broadcasting last night for the Aus Pro-Am Sim Series, and there was a couple of, or in fact there was a caution period during the race there. It's just noted Edward Foster crashing. I imagine that's when the pace car drove into him, not the other way around. But the pace car at Road America drives off the track on the pace car lap.
Oh, okay.
Very unusual. It's the first time I've seen it. Certainly not.
A little bit of off-roading?
Absolutely, in a Porsche nonetheless. So obviously not concerned that they're not paying the bill to maintain that car. And yeah, for some reason the pace car every lap consistently runs really wide, so wide in fact that it's off track on the approach up to the bridge.
Oh, okay. That's a interesting place to go a little bit wide there. I've had a moment there before and it's not fun.
No, not at all. So it's also listing here that there's a crash in the back of the field. Doutanak, Sorensen and Norm Clark coming together under the pace car. So not too sure what's happened there. The lights are out on the pace car, so we won't duck back and have a look at that one because we're about to get going under race conditions again. Joshua Karen Walden as well now just coming up on the register, so maybe a little bit of bumping and shunting going on under the caution, as they say, Rubbings Racing.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just looked and like Mirko was 5 cars in front of Norman, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. So my timing screen's bouncing around a little bit as well, so maybe there's a little glitchy situation going on.
Could well be, as we're back underway again with Foster, Gallagher, Quisho and Carol Walden at the top 4 cars here. Foster's trying to cut and run with a yellow flag situation. He will be wanting. Here we go again down on the inside there. Sorry, I just noticed. I think it was John Sorensen having a slide down on the infield. That won't trigger a yellow flag. It's a single car incident, but it is Edward Foster out in front, half a second in front of Quisho, Gallagher, Hardigan, Carol Walden, and Phil Otto, top 6 in this one. Won't want there to be any yellow flags. It's working hard here to build a lead out in front. Big slide there for Foster as well. So it just proves difficult to drive, even for the strongest drivers in the field. Oh, there we go. So that was Carol Walden, and it looks like Gallagher sliding down, and we go back under caution as Doutanak has had an incident there. 62. I didn't see him get hit, but obviously he has. I did see the big slide, and it's right up under the back there. That was what caused it. Yeah, I'm just going back
to watch it. Yeah.
And there was, bit of a bump underneath the back, which lifted him off the ground and caused that. We're now getting a few errors through here from our timing monitor saying that basically the entire field has crashed. And unless what's happening is the safety car is driving into cars in the field. I think that's actually what it is that's triggering.
Yeah, or the other thing is if the guys are running past the yellow line in the small oval, maybe that's triggering an incident.
Just
So you see how like the track's narrower and then there's like a lot more oval on the outside. Maybe they're running past that yellow line and it's triggering like the off track.
and they are
for 'em.
they are slowing down a lot to get the safety
Yeah.
car in front of themselves. So maybe because they're stopping, that's what's triggering it. Who knows? But look, half the field hasn't crashed. We're all good, even though the screen's completely bright red. Everyone is safe and well, as safe and well as they can be. As we do a little bit more circle work under the control of the Mustang. Lights are out on that one. It's going to pull off. And once again, we're going to be looking for who's going to break away here. Foster got a ripping restart after the last safety period. So he will be a caution period, I should say. We are still under caution period. Oh, there's a big bump there. There's a huge bump. What's going on with that? Oh, and another one.
What is going on?
It's going to trigger another safety car. Oh, and Foster's cut and run. That's probably the cheekiest thing
What is this?
cheekiest thing I've ever seen. He's pushed a car wide, and then has thought, you know what? Oh, I'll just get back into this, and off and run he goes, and he's out to a 1.5 second lead already.
And we got caution.
And we got a caution flag. That's
So who's-
unbelievable.
So Roger Clark's just dumped and run. I think it was Hamish.
Yeah, Hamish Gallagher there copping he copped an incident.
Yeah, Roger's just got up in his door and put him into the fence. These boys are out of control tonight.
Oh, he's just run real wide there, and as you say, the Pink Panther is up into the wall, so he'll be looking for some revenge, no doubt. And this is the thing about this one, so everyone just needs to recognise there's no points here. It's not a full-blown series. These guys spent a lot of time racing together, so doing a fun series for a couple of weeks just to get back out and get things going again there. And yeah, Ben, you're not wrong, mate. Or you get back, LOL, absolutely right. Very, very cheeky from Edward Foster there. So he tried to just make sure that who did he escorted Carol Walden off the track. So
No, it was Lachlan.
sorry, it was a collision.
So I'd say there'd be a few words happening after this as well. But yeah, that was probably one of the dodgiest things I think I've ever seen in my sim racing career. So I'm a little impressed and a little bit disappointed all at the same time. So
Yeah, absolutely.
very, very differently played, that's for sure.
See, and look, there's a certain element here for Equizio to jump early and try and get a really good run on to get back up to the front of the pack and provide a little bit of retribution. And, Foster's got to remember that there's another race coming up tonight, so retribution is something that can happen relatively easily and is served best cold. So we'll see what happens for the rest of this race.
I would say there is a return serve coming at some point, definitely.
Absolutely. So we're on board with Equizio now. Foster leading the restart here just to see how Equizio goes. Out on the marbles, it could be difficult there in these cars as well, with them already having no grip before you get too much into it. As you can see, they look like a RC car with a 25-inch mag wheel on them. It's not quite that bad, but they are... it's just getting a little wide there. Looked like Gallagher was going to push him into the wall. Just wanting to see if he can get his way back up. We'll check back in with him a bit later on. Jump on board now with Jason Hardigan as he runs the wide line, but he's making progress. And there's another spin. Someone facing the wrong way. It's Otto, who ends up trying to check out whether it's quicker to go backwards than forwards around this track. And I think he'll find that it's not.
These boys are playing rough tonight. I like this, so this is cool to see.
And how's the get up on Carol Walden's car? He looks like a safety section at a work site. He's gone with the old safety tape layout.
Health and safety.
Yeah, I mean, look, he does normally run the bright orange car in the 87 series, so I'm sure he likes to be seen. But I'm not too sure about dressing up like he's a cheater or
He used to
the
run
safety tape.
a rainbow car, and you knew it was him from a mile away because you could just see all these bright colours coming at you, or you're driving up to the back of him. So it's good that he's kept his flair and his style to a certain degree. So it's good to see.
Those metallic wheels really, I think, make the paint job. I think without it, it'd be far too dull. far too dull.
Added extra.
Absolutely.
So, Steve had the spin early in the start. We're halfway through the race, and he's already back to third now. So that's pretty impressive little comeback quite quickly.
I'm not going to hide it. I'm hoping that Equasio makes his way back up into second, so that we get to see some retribution. Yep.
I think it'll come, and if it doesn't come in this race, I can highly expect some payback in the modifieds for the feature. I can definitely say that if Edward's up front, I don't think he'll be finishing in front.
No, there won't be a lot of room given, shall we say. So just waiting for the pace car to pull off. Keep calling it a pace car. It's not, of course.
No, it is.
Oh, it is in this one. Sorry. Geez, you'd think that I'd got it right by now, but I just can't quite get there. It's I'm just struggling at the moment. I don't know why. It must be because of the weather.
It must be 8-minute dinner.
Stick it with that. Well, yeah, the 8-minute dinner in the middle doesn't help, but we've got off and running again. Foster not quite getting the sprint that he wanted, that he has for the last two restarts. Carroll Walden wising up to his tactics now as he tries to get through. Carl Whiffy sliding back down a little bit through the order. There's some jostling going on. Lachlan Equasio up into 9th place. We're keeping an eye on him. But once again, it is Foster out in front. And Carroll Walden there battling with Steve Williams, giving one another room. It's back in the pack where the danger lies. Someone gets into a slide, and all you know is that next minute you are the meat in a metal sandwich.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The boys are giving each other just enough room. It's really cool to them for using each different line. You see some guys running up near the wall, some guys are running close. There's a little bit of contact there, but rubbing, that's good. So yeah, so they're moving around, which is really cool to see. There's a lot of oval racing you go and do, and you're very like one or two grooves, but this track looks like it's widening out quite quickly for them, so they can move around quite a bit. Some guys are driving the car deeper into the corner, then fighting at mid-corner. Other guys are really focusing on their exit, so the people are making pace in different ways at this point.
And is that just a rubber on road situation that causes that?
Yeah, but it's also the track designs as well. So each track's got their own little characteristics. Obviously, something like this where there's not a lot of banking, you can move around a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like some of your banking circuits, you either got to be high or low. Yeah, it does depend on the track. It depends on where the rubber is. It depends on how hot the track surface is. There's lots of factors in it. These cars produce quite good racing because they're quite narrow, so you can go 2 or 3 wide quite easily, even on a 2-groove track as well. So there's a lot of movement going around. Lachlan is hustling the back of Roger now, so yes. And I think he's just got that move done as well, so that puts him up to P6.
Yeah, that's correct. Matty Hunter had a small incident there, didn't trigger a yellow flag, which is good. Got a real good grouping here as well. Carroll Walden, Williams and Hardigan all together. Just trying to see what they can do. Matty Hunter having another incident there, unfortunately, as well. So just struggling a bit. I think we're going to go time certain here. 15 laps to go in this one. It may well get it done. You can see Hunter's badly damaged car there on the outside. Actually, that was Doutanak on the outside there. So
yeah, that would have been from the earlier incident.
Yeah.
I did see it get flown through the air like an aeroplane.
But Matty Hunter jumping into pit lane to get some repairs done there. So it is Foster from Carroll Walden, Williams, Hardigan, Sorensen, Gallagher, and that man Equasio, who we are, shall we say, supporting. You can't have a bias as a commentator, but we're hoping he can get back up to the front and give Edward Foster a little bit of payback.
Yeah, he's definitely, I think he's probably used his tyre up. Maybe that little bit of contact's affected him in certain ways. I don't know that he's going to be able to get back to him unless we get another caution. Like you said, time certain's only 4 minutes away, so we got 10 laps to go when they cross the stripe this next time. So it's going to be pretty close at 15 seconds a lap. I reckon we'll just get it done in time, but unless we get a caution, and then it could go time certain for sure.
Speaking of using tyres up, maybe Foster has here because Carroll Walden and Williams are both closed right up on the back of him.
Definitely. They've pulled him in real quick. There's going to be some lap traffic that's going to play a part in this. Mirko's done the right thing and moved right out of the way for the boys. Yeah, I reckon these boys are going to have a crack at him in a lap or two. They'll definitely close that gap real quick to him.
Yeah, he's running that slightly wider turn in, which is helping him through the mid-corner. I don't know if he's doing that.
It's affecting his drive off the corner. He's not carrying the speed, yeah.
I wonder if that's the tyre condition that's causing him to do that.
Yeah, you can see him kind of fighting the car on exit. It's just sliding away from him every time. So it's going to be interesting as we've got 7 laps to go.
Hopefully all green flag racing laps.
Yeah, Hardigan started to come right in as well. I think Foster's running a pretty good line here, and he's holding the 2 up, and Hardigan's had a crack right up to him now. So it's going to be an interesting last few laps here.
So I'm just going to change that timer over to show us how many laps to go instead, because we are going to get this one done. So we've got 6 laps to go as they head around this time. It's getting wide here in the backpack.
Oh, here comes Steve with a big move around the outside.
He's real wide there. Manages to hold it. Did a great job to keep that one on the road. It was out of control for a bit there. There's some lap traffic again, as you mentioned, coming into play. That's given Foster a little bit of breathing space from Carroll Walden behind him. As Hardigan moves up into 3rd. Steve Williams running 4th, having that big moment, but doing a great job to not lose it completely. So a little bit of lap traffic there as well. Is that Carl Withy? I couldn't quite catch the car number. Yes, it is.
Yep.
So Carl Withy there getting out the way, doing the right thing as well. 3 laps to go this time around. Going to have to try.
I think Foster's done just enough for this.
Does look like it.
Yeah. But I'm not putting my bet on somebody having a big crack in the last lap either. So here comes Steve on the inside of Jason, and contact.
And slide.
Caution.
So that's it. We're going to finish this one under caution.
No, we won't. We're going to get a green-white checker here. So this is going to spice things up extra spicy here. So whole situation with the green-white checker. We'll get caution laps, it'll bump as extra laps, we'll get a green flag, then the next flag will be white flag, and then the finish. So we'll get 2 green laps at the end of this.
That should be enough.
It should. So let's see what tactics Foster's got under the caution this time.
Just wait for these to get around now.
So, who's your tips now? This has completely changed it up.
I'm going to go Carroll Walden because I think he's going to have slightly better tyre condition.
Yep.
So I think he's going to have the ability to probably get it done.
I'm going to go for Hardigan. I reckon Carroll Walden and Foster are going to wreck each other, and I reckon Hardigan's going to drive past them both.
So we'll find out in a matter of moments. The light's still on the pace car here.
Yep, so it should kick over now to a double file. No, one more.
Let's see how this plays out. Got our tips here, so it's either Hardigan or Carroll Walden for us.
Here we go.
We're
We're
about to
gridding
get
up
going.
2 by 2.
So it's saying 3 laps to go still.
Yep.
So it's going to be...
So once the flags drop, we'll get the green flag, and the next flag will be the white flag the following lap, and then we'll be checkered the following lap. So here we go.
3 to go.
Well, he's checked them up.
Foster's there.
Smart move.
Good start from Carol Walden and Hardigan. Walden on the outside, just sliding a little bit there, which has let Hardigan get through.
Watch for Gallagher on the inside as well.
A big slide on the inside there. I think it might have been Equijo or Williams. Didn't quite catch the car number. Hardigan right on the back of Foster there as we head into the final lap. Foster's got to keep it tight and not open the door here. Otherwise, Hardigan's going to stick his nose right down the inside. He's run wide to try and pull back in. He's going to get it done. He's pulled down. No, he's just not quite going to be able to get it done. And that is the end of it. As the end result there is Foster from Hardigan and on to Gallagher. So some really good close racing there. Plenty of racing room given in the appropriate circumstances. And I'm very sure that Quijo will be asking Foster, what the heck, man? At some stage.
I don't think that dispute will be finished until after this next race, to be honest with you. We never saw Lachlan get back to him. And I reckon there might be some revenge payback coming, maybe.
Well, what we might do now is we might try and grab Edward into the combox here.
I would very much like to speak to him right now about this.
Edward, are you there?
I am here.
We have a couple of questions for you about potentially a reasonably questionable restart during that race. Just wanted to get an idea on your thoughts on that.
Well, it went like this.
Here we go.
All good stories start like that, by the way.
Right? It went like this. Lockie made a joke about how close we were, so I just decided to make it a little bit closer. And then the tyres got a little bit hooked up together. Lockie kind of went off. I spun around a bit, but it was telling me to actually overtake everyone and get back to my normal position.
Right.
So I went shooting through in time for the green, and what I really did is a service to the others to make it so they didn't get black flagged by being ahead of me when they shouldn't be. So, yeah, it's all in the name of my concern for my fellow driver, really.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that Lachlan will see it that way at all. And you know what we did notice was how perfectly timed the run was for when the flag went green. That you just happened to be at full race pace and jumped the field by about a second and a half. So
it just happened that way, didn't it?
Sometimes the chips fall on the right side for you. So what do you do? So from here we're off into our second race for the night. Are you looking? Are you going to be watching the rearview mirrors there? I think to see if there's any retribution.
Well, yeah. I mean, I might even have to start at the back for that anyway. So I might be working my way through. I'm not sure, or maybe Matt might wait till next week to ping me for it. But either way, I've got a real grid start coming up. I know that much. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. 100 laps around the outer track. It should be pretty fun. Won't be as probably eventful as the legends are. They kind of lend themselves to that kind of thing. But yeah, it should be all good all the same.
Yeah, and of course that's the purpose of this series. We're just saying during the first race there that it's everyone in this group races together in one way, shape, or form across the other series that Ant's car run, and so this is designed for a little bit of fun and not to be taken too seriously. Albeit that generally it is when everyone gets behind the wheel. Any idea of it being a joke goes away pretty quickly.
I think most. I don't think there was anybody in there who wasn't laughing the entire way through the race. So yeah, it's definitely it is just a bit of fun. We already run a couple of fairly serious series, so yeah, we have this here. We can all just get together and have some good racing, bash into each other, and rub panels and everything, and nobody gets upset. It's all just good fun. And
that's the idea of it. So we're going to take a quick break here while we change over servers. Just waiting for the new session to come up for our feature race for this evening, which will be a 100 lap feature race But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in, particularly given what we just got to see then. So don't go too far. We'll be back in a couple of minutes once the session comes up and we're into qualifying.
Simrigs.com is dedicated to not only supplying quality products, but also helping you achieve your potential and goals within the sim community. Race clean. This is the most important thing to progressing in any of the racing simulators out there. Be consistent and stay on your race line. Someone that is much faster will overtake you when they can. Moving off your line to get out of the way can cause more trouble than you think. Have fun. You will wreck quite a bit. Sometimes your fault, plenty of times not your fault. Learn from it. Wreck avoidance is key. Whether you're just starting out and wanting an entry grade setup, or have been in the sim scene for years and needing a well-deserved upgrade, Simrigs.com is here to help. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. At Ferguson Group Media, we are a full-service marketing agency built for today. Day in, day out, we are about attracting attention to build brands. We believe that every business is a marketing and media business and should have access to a content creating machine. That's where we fit in. We also understand about extracting value from social media marketing and digital marketing. Video is king in producing content for your business. From it, all other forms of content can flow. We are set up to film, edit, and post-produce content at scale. This enables us to keep costs down, allowing small businesses to also access our products. Don't hesitate to reach out and chat about your content ideas. Your local digital marketing agency, Ferguson Group Media. There is an awful lot to learn, and it takes quite some time. Trying to work it all out on your own can be confusing and overwhelming. It can be super hard to get on the track, never mind being competitive. For me, I was lucky enough to get involved with a group of guys that were really fantastic and gave me a lot of knowledge and support. This helped me to progress with my skills and got me up to speed very quickly. After a solid 5 years honing my skills, I now feel I'm in a position to help others. So I'm all in on Virtual Motorsport Mentor and loving every moment. I created this platform to help drivers develop their skills and get the support and feedback they need to improve their drive lines, speed, setups, and more. My goal is to see you become the best driver you can be. The question is, how far do you want to take it? I look forward to helping you drive fast and win more. Chris, Virtual Motorsport Mentor. Would you like to get your brand in front of thousands of avid gamers? FGM ECast now has sponsorship packages available, so you can get your name in the stream and start getting the audience you deserve. Our productions are cinema and TV standard and will include everything you need to get an ad just like the ones you saw into our live streams and replays. Don't hesitate to reach out if you'd like to work together. Simrigs.com is dedicated to not only supplying quality products, but also helping you achieve your potential and goals within the sim community. Race clean. This is the most important thing to progressing in any of the racing simulators out there. Be consistent and stay on your race line. Someone that is much faster will overtake you when they can. Moving off your line to get out of the way can cause more trouble than you think. Have fun. You will wreck quite a bit. Sometimes your fault, plenty of times not your fault. Learn from it. Wreck avoidance is key. Whether you're just starting out and wanting an entry grade setup, or have been in the sim scene for years and needing a well-deserved upgrade, Simrigs.com is here to help. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. At Ferguson Group Media, we are a full-service marketing agency built for today. Day in, day out, we are about attracting attention to build brands. We believe that every business is a marketing and media business and should have access to a content creating machine. That's where we fit in. We also understand about extracting value from social media marketing and digital marketing. Video is king in producing content for your business. From it, all other forms of content can flow. We are set up to film, edit, and post-produce content at scale. This enables us to keep costs down, allowing small businesses to also access our products. Don't hesitate to reach out and chat about your content ideas. Your local digital marketing agency, Ferguson Group Media. There is an awful lot to learn, and it takes quite some time. Trying to work it all out on your own can be confusing and overwhelming. It can be super hard to get on the track, never mind being competitive. For me,
Alright everyone, welcome back. We've got just about 5 minutes to go here in practice. Just noticed there, a little bit of bumping and running going on, as usual, as we just described. It's a fun one, this one, so I'm not guys taking it too seriously, but as we get into this one, lots of grip in these modifieds, lots of power too, so first time we've broadcast these on FGM ECast. Looking forward to seeing how they go. Just in the off air there. Chris Purnell just letting me in on the fact these things are quick. So, purpose built. No fairings, no nothing, just serious business. Not sure where they run in real life as well. We'll find out with that when we do get Chris back. A couple of extra drivers running in here. Owen Kelly's jumped into the server. So welcome to him. Pumping out the grid now to 14 drivers. Looking forward to seeing what happens here. John Sorensen joining the mix as well. Thanks very much for the follow there, Too Fast. And Zed, really appreciate it. And we appreciate everyone that tunes into our channel to watch with us as we try and bring you some different stuff on a Wednesday night. It is effectively our mix-up night where we start out with non-iRacing content, jumping into a little bit of Fall Guys. And I think next week we're going to do Among Us, a new game for us on the stream. If you've played that, let us know. It's described to me today like the old murder mystery game, so where there's one guilty party and the job of the game is to work out who is that guilty party. Oh, Kelly there going faster so far in practice. And hello, sir. Welcome back to the coverage. We've had a couple of extra drivers jump in while we've been off on the break. Owen Kelly.
Yes, and that is the Owen Kelly.
That, I feel like I should know what that means, Chris.
From Supercars? Early 2000s?
Yes.
Yes. He used to drive the Autobahn supercar.
So Steve Owen?
No, Owen Kelly.
No idea. Anyway.
He drove it before. Anyway.
That's okay.
And then he went over to America and he actually raced in the Xfinity Series over there for a while as well. So, yes.
I feel bad that I don't know that. I mean,
quite fast.
To be honest, in the early 2000s, I wasn't living in Australia, so that may have something to do with it. But my V8 supercar knowledge is reasonably comprehensive, so I'm a bit disappointed that actually, no. Actually, now I remember. No, yep. Okay, yeah, I do remember now.
Yep.
Right, okay. Oh, well, very good. Welcome to the series. He's out in front in the modifieds at the moment. Having run a 16:38, so just faster than Hardigan with a 41, Carol Warden a 43, and I think basically we've got a tenth between everyone there on down. So I was just saying to the viewers before you jump back in that you mentioned in the break these things are incredibly quick. Where do they run?
So they run a series called the Wheel and Tour Modified Series in America. They do a lot of oval stuff. They race at Martinsville, lots of short track style racing. They do happen to take the card with a couple of the official NASCAR series events throughout the year, but they run their own series that goes to other places as well. It's a lot more grassroots style racing. A lot of the drivers build their own cars, but it is a highly competitive series.
Yeah, right. So I do. I remember before old Captain Google came on the scene, you could find out just about anything you needed to without reading books.
Yep.
But in the was it Carroll? Who was it? John? Was it John Carroll? How to Make Your Race Car Faster, and that series of books that are quite famous for giving plenty of information in terms of race car development and things like that. Reading about these and the way that their suspension's set up, things like that. So, and so definitely, as you say, oval. Do they do any circuit racing in these like NASCAR does? They look like a slightly offset build.
Yeah, they're more styled around like a sprint car sort of way there with the offset tyre. I think the outer tyre is a little bit wider and taller than the inner tyre, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But from what I'm aware of, it is mostly it's all oval stuff. So, and it's all bitumen oval stuff. There's no dirt or anything like that in these.
Could be interesting to whack some studded tyres onto them and go dirt racing with them. They look amazing. So obviously high horsepower, wide tyres, as we just see a little bit of action there off as the session finishes. So the qualifying here will probably be the same format again, a 2-lap lone qualifying session. Yes, that's exactly what we've
Yep.
got. So we'll leave it set to the exciting car as we can. It does hop around a little bit, but it's the best way to get an idea of who is doing what. So as we go very, very quickly, 16-second laps. Looking at Owen Kelly there, fastest man in practice, to see if he can retain that into qualifying for the start of the 100-lap feature race. Did get a update there from the race organisers that during the main event, caution laps will not count towards the 100-lap race count. So if we do get any yellow periods, they will not count to this one. There is a time limit on the race, but I believe they put it around about an hour and a half, and that will not be hit. So 100 laps should be good to go for the main race here, as we're just on board with, I think it was Carol Walden there who swung himself around into the fence. We've got him having done his 2 laps though, so that will be why 16.34. He's currently at the top of the grid. Moment, John Sorensen, we're just completing his lap in second. Edward Foster's done his in third, and Stephen Williams has just gone top of the charts with a 16.25. Clearly the quickest man on track, yeah, particularly in reference to those practice laps as well. Roger Clark getting through his first lap now. We'll jump on board with him, see what he can do. First lap out at 16.75. Looks like Kelly's going to start from the back of the grid.
Yeah, he's actually disconnected from the server, I've just noticed down the bottom there, so that's a shame. I would have liked to see how he does, but he might pop back in with a minute to go and start from the rear of grid.
Could well do. We hope he does, just to keep the pack growing. Carl Withy, the last to do his lap there, moving up one spot right at the death knock in doing a 16.84. So, see if Owen Kelly does jump back in to give us 14 cars for the grid. Otherwise, we are going to start with the 13 that we ran with at the last race. So what are we looking for here? What's the strategy? 100 laps.
Well, I mean, fuel's not going to come into it, so obviously the caution lap thing with no caution laps counting's not really going to affect it unless we have 10 cautions. Then you might see guys pitting for a bit of fuel. But I can't see that happening, so I reckon you're going to see people try and break away. Hope that there's no caution. If we do get a caution, from what I've been told, there's going to be 1 set of tyres available. So it's just a matter of, like it was last week, when do you gamble and take that new set of rubber? These cars are not too bad on tyres. They do use them, and you will develop some understeer as the run goes on, but I don't see it being a big issue over the course of the race. So I'm probably going to tip that if we don't get a caution, it'll spread out quite quickly, and then it'll just be a matter of who can actually manoeuvre through the traffic and make their way to the front.
So I'll quickly run through the grid now. On the back of that, we've got Steve Williams on pole position with Joshua Carroll Walden yet again in the bridesmaid seat on second, with John Sorensen third, with Edward Foster in fourth position. Hamish Gallagher fifth. We've got Norm Clark starting out of sixth, Jason Hardigan seventh, and Mirko Dautenac in eighth. Matty Hunter in ninth, Lachlan Equejo in 10th, looking for revenge, followed by Roger Clark, Carl Withy, and Phil Otto rounding out our 13 cars. It is listing Owen Kelly here, but I don't believe he has made the starting orders. Maybe starting from pit lane, but I am not sure.
No, he's
dropped
not
out.
in the server, so yeah. He's just joined now. So he's going to be laps down from the beginning. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, if he can come back through.
Maybe having connection issues there, joining us from the United States. So we'll see if that can stick together there, as you told us earlier on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he can do. If we get a caution early, he could get the lucky dog, get himself back on the lead lap, and then be able to fight for it. But
and so what does that mean? What's the lucky dog?
So the lucky dog is, the way it's sort of the best way to describe it is, when you're a lap down, the highest placed car that is a lap down will get a free pass past the field to join the back of the lap, to join the grid on the lead lap again. So, and it worked really well over a longer race. but we are going green with Steve Williams booting it nice and early. A little bit of a check up on the inside line.
And we've got Edward Foster moving up into second place already. So just looking for Owen Kelly to jump out of pit lane and join onto this one. If he's managed to get it connected as we're green. He has left the pits 2 laps down, but let's see what happens there. Williams from Foster, Carol Walden from Sorensen, Gallagher from Clark, Hardigan from Doutnak, and Lachlan Aquisha's just dropped down with Withy and Aquisha along with Matty Hunter being involved with that one. So we're straight under caution here, getting through 2 laps without that happening. We'll have a quick look at that. Phil Otto jumping into pit lane there. That just being an error on the timing screen. What's happened here? He's got into a big slide by the look of it. Up ahead, yeah, there was a big slide and just getting caught up in the incident there. So you can see the 3 cars involved with the Aquisha and Matt Hunter. So I'll get around and jump back onto the back of the field. We're getting this error again in this one of iRacing listing every car as having crashed in the field when that clearly isn't the case. So this will allow Owen Kelly to jump back onto the back of the field. In fact,
Let's see if it gives him the lucky dog. So, because I'm not sure if it's even set up.
Moved a little bit further up.
Can't see anything about the lucky dog, so he might be out of luck here.
They may decide to wave him through anyhow, of course, because we do have race control in this one. We've got Kawija and Withy in pit lane. So it's Williams from Foster. A good start there for them. Foster in second place there. Unfamiliar territory for him.
Quite a few people in the pits already.
Yeah, so it's just showing Aquisha, Withy and Hunter. Who else has jumped in there?
Oh no, yeah, that's it. It's just saying it's registering Owen is still in the pits at this point in time. So I'm not sure why that is.
There's a few little gremlins there. It's saying that whole heap of dry. Every time it goes past the start-finish line, under pace car, it's just showing that everyone has crashed. So
Yeah.
Obviously just a small iRacing issue there. But at least I think we've figured out what it is. So we'll just ignore it and get on with it from now on, rather than looking back.
Mine's clicking around a little bit as well. It's not updating my timing screen at the moment. So, and every time it passes the line, everybody jumps around.
Yeah, so it's, maybe it's something to do with an update that has come through that's caused that. So anyhow, we'll keep on keeping on, so they say. The lights are out on the safety car, so this will be the last time around before we get back.
It doesn't look like we're going to get lucky dogs in this, so if you go a lap down early, you're going to be fighting yourself the whole race by the looks of this.
So, looks like Matt Hunter though, Owen Kelly though, is back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because my timing screen hasn't updated. It's still telling me he's on lap 0.
Yeah, so no, he is on the lead lap, so the SDK software here is showing that he's managed to get up onto the lead lap. He's got a huge slide there for Foster, down on the inside of the track, so it won't cause a caution. Hopefully, no, it has again, so we're back under caution as we're trying to get this running. So yeah. The timing screen just going absolutely ridiculous.
Mental, yeah. Yeah, now it's updated. He's a lap down.
I'm just going to try and reload it here just to see if there's some way we can tidy that up, because it's not showing the right information, so it will disappear for a moment and come back to us. Interesting enough, it's saying for me that he is on the lead lap, so we're not quite sure. We suspect that there's a couple of cars on or at least a lap down at this point in time. The timing monitor there just having a little bit of a struggle to try and get things right. Well, this amount of yellow flag running, Chris, we may well be in for some fuel stops. So
It's,
far,
especially with laps not counting, we could be here a very long time.
could be here most of the night. So settle in. I hope you've got your comfy shoes on and yeah, ready to get it done.
Yeah, my race labs is bugging out as well, so I'm not even sure where anybody is at this point. Interesting. This track's glitched.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know at this stage that Williams and Foster are 1 and 2. We've got Sorensen, Gallagher 3 and 4.
See, I've got Carol Walden in 3rd.
Yeah, whereas I've got him running 12th at the moment. So we might just have a quick look on track. I think they're in order on track. And of course Foster had a slide, so he can't be in 2nd place.
Yeah, Steve, Foster, John, Hamish, Mirko, Norman, Roger,
Yep, so
Jason
that's...
Hardigan,
Yep.
Phil Otto. Yeah, so they're in order, so not sure what's going on there.
So, and this still shows me that Matty Hunter is actually on the lead lap now. So he might have got lucky to get out in front of the pace car. Yeah, and then get back around onto the back of the pack, and that's helped him get onto the lead lap without that lucky dog that you explained to us just before. So,
yeah, which I think the lucky dog's turned off because by now Owen Kelly should have had that, and he's still showing as a lap down for me. So,
yeah, whereas I've still got him on the lead lap, so we'll just keep an eye on it. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
As things continue throughout the rest of the race. Hopefully it's sorted itself out now.
Pace car's in.
And we're about to go green running again. This 100 lap feature race tonight with Ann's car. Ann's car Wednesday night speedway. So we're back underway and running again. And we believe it's Williams from Foster, Gallagher, Sorensen, Doutanak, Clark, and then Norm Clark as well. Hardigan, Otto, Carol Walden, Hunter with the Equija, and Owen Kelly rounding out our series at this point in time. You're right, the timing screen has updated. Kelly's still a lap down after starting from pit lane, so it looks like it sorted itself out just in time to get back under green flag running. So Steve Williams here jumping out in front. He's got just under half a second lead. Doesn't look like it at this point in time from our leader, from Edward Foster, I should say, in 2nd place, trying to chase him down. Gallagher and Sorensen still battling just behind him as well. It's a really, really solid pack of cars in the mid-pack.
Oh, there's a crash. And there goes Carol Walden. Did he keep it together? I think he might have done, actually.
Yeah, I think he saved the slide there.
Wow.
A little bit
That's a big moment too.
Bit of battle damage on that car already as he tries to make it through. He was part of that really condensed part of the pack.
Early
which is,
race.
Yeah, now started to spread itself out a little bit.
Yep.
Steve Williams still out in front, but being pursued by Edward Foster. Keen to jump on board with one of these cars and just have a look at what it looks like from the inside. So we might do that from Hamish Gallagher here. Wow, as a certainly increased the noise. Have a look at the view out of the passenger side. Jump on board with the driver here. So that's what you're looking at when you're running one of these.
It's an awesome vision to be on board with one of these things. And the feeling you get through the steering wheel when you pitch the car in is a lot of fun. Got a lot of grip, a lot of horsepower. You can lean on that rear tyre. Oh, let's see if it has a look. Oh, not quite. Hamish just had a crack around the outside.
It's really close up in the front here. Foster's still trying to find a way around.
Hamish is playing the smart game here. He's just being patient. He's going to see what Foster does. Set him up.
Only 12 laps in, or 13 laps in, so there's plenty of time still in this race.
Definitely. All right, Steve's had a little moment. Edwards up the inside, and Hamish is going to... caution's out.
Caution's out again.
Who was in front when we got? Oh, Steve was still in front. Beautiful.
Yeah, so he's going to still hold on to that. Norm Clark, it looks like, has had an incident. So we'll just jump back on that one and have a quick look.
Well, there's a few cars involved in that one. Let's go.
Yeah, there's a slide there for 62. Clark, there's four,
Yep. And he
four
just had nowhere
cars.
to go.
No, yeah, so we've had Roger Clark, Norm Clark involved in that one
Mirko was involved.
as well.
Yep.
So and it just seems to be these yellow flag periods that are really causing issue with the timing. It's started to go a little bit loopy again now.
Yep.
So Steve Williams still our race leader there behind the pace car.
What I am very interested to see is Owen Kelly is now up to 5th on track. So he is moving through the field even though he's a lap down. He's going to be close to the front. So if he can get back past the leaders and then the caution comes out, he is back on the lead lap without the lucky dog.
Will that mean that the pace car will then pick up the leader and he'll get let through?
Exactly.
That's what you're saying? Yep.
Yep, that's it. So he's made his way in 14 laps to 5th on track position roughly. So that's a pretty impressive drive so early, especially with 3 caution periods.
Well, he's definitely lapping at the same speed as everyone in that lead pack. So obviously got to do that to be able to give yourself the opportunity to do exactly what you've just described. So
yeah, that's exactly right. I actually think looking at his times, 16.5 was his fastest for Steve. Yeah, so they're same pace. So it'll be quite interesting to see when the battle's added. If he can clear them 3 guys at the front that seem to have a little bit over John in 4th, he could play himself back into this. He'll have a long night of racing ahead of him to then come from the back again to the front. But he's already done it once, so he can do it again for sure.
caution periods, I should say, probably going to play into that strategy as well. Obviously,
yeah, that's exactly right.
It's interesting. It's actually showing him in pit lane.
Maybe he was involved in that wreck.
Didn't see 15 getting involved in it, but yeah.
I reckon he's pitted for tyres.
Just for tyres and to get things juiced back up. So
yeah, maybe
showing him on lap 12 of with the lead cars now on lap 14. So he'll still be a lap down.
I'm just going back to see if he was involved in the carnage. He was. So he was the reason the caution came out. He had contact with the 62. He just clipped him in the left rear, hit him, and then he sort of got stuck and had nowhere to go. So it was probably Owen that started that whole sort of melee of accidents. So he's probably just pitted. So he'll be back at the back to start again and come forward. Yeah,
well, he's still only a lap down. So we get back under green racing. Eldred Foster getting a good jump there. Stephen Williams as well, as we're back green flag racing. Hopefully for an extended period of time here, so we can try and start to establish some of these battles that we were anticipating coming. And Foster's cutting and running here. Sorensen on the outside of Williams, trying to find a fast line here. He's got Hamish Gallagher behind him as well, electing to run that high line. He's doing a good job on the restart to try and keep things clean. Phil Otto and Doughtonac battling as well in the pack. This is close racing. You can see there Owen Kelly.
Oh, a little bit tight mid-corner, but he's got past him.
Already getting up and through the field here, trying to establish that positioning that you were talking about, getting himself right up into the lead group.
Yeah, he needs to get himself in that top 3 so he can make something of it later on in the race.
Get out of the potential harm's way of the challenges that go with trying to make your way through the pack.
And that's it. And his goal at the moment is to get to the front so that when the caution comes out, he can get waved back to the start. So, which he's quite successfully moved through the field quite quickly. So it'll be interesting to see if he's got the pace to stay with the leaders or even gap them at the front and wait for that caution. Because if we will get another caution, it's bound to come at some point.
Absolutely, and he's already jumping up onto the back of this lead pack here, so...
Yeah, I would say no cautions next 10 laps. He'll be there and pass most of them, to be honest with you.
What does it stand? Edward Foster out in front, leading this race. A gap of just on 3/4 of a second from John Sorensen. Behind him, Hamish Gallagher and Steve Williams, and Williams are battling it out behind him. And then Jason Hardigan as well involved. We do have Owen Kelly in the middle of that pack too, so just trying to get involved. He's got a car leaving pit lane, I believe, there, just rejoining the track on the low line. I think that may well have been Carl Whiffy just getting it back into things.
Yeah, that was Carl just coming back out. So he's obviously had his damage repaired and he's just cruising out now to do the best he can.
Just looking at the relative track positions here of these cars. Everyone choosing to run that high line.
Yeah, well, what they're doing is they're using the banking with the bigger outside tyre to help slide the car through the corner. And the cars look quite twitchy and nervous near the bottom, so I think what they're using is the banking to help the car rotate nicer through the corner, and then they're able to pick that throttle up a little bit easier.
Gallagher's closed right up on the back of Sorensen, just behind our leader here. He's diving under to try and get the job done. Doesn't want to let Foster get too far out in front, but equally, as I said, we would be expecting to see definitely at least another caution period at some stage, potentially two, given the timing.
Here comes Owen Kelly up the inside of Hardigan. There you go, that's another spot cleared. He's down the bottom. Oh, nice slide job right up, tucks in behind Steve. Beautiful pass.
He's going to get the run on here as well on Steve Williams and move up, unlap himself from yet another car. Quite able to get it done there.
Yeah, Steve's just able to run that top line and just carry a little bit more momentum. Owen's getting there. Oh, there's contact. Oh, so lucky to not make more contact there. It was really good driving from both of them. But Steve looks like he's got a little bit more grip than Owen does at the moment. And Owen's going to take a big slide at him. Oh, nice slide
gets it
job.
done.
Beautiful. Steve's cut the undercut, but I think Owen's going to have to run out the outside of the corner now. So, yep, Steve's going to try the slide. Or he's just giving him enough room on the outside.
Really good driving here. Carol Walden there.
Awesome.
So he came off the track, but...
There we go. I think Owen's going to clear him here. Yeah, Owen's just got past Steve and he's cleared him. Beautiful. Really good racing by them guys. So now let's see if Owen can close up to Gallagher now, because that's my next question I have for them.
Oh, and this will help him tremendously as he doesn't get through, unfortunately, there.
Oh, and he's blown a motor. I would say that is Mr. Kelly done for the night. And it looks like Mr. Sorensen's on his roof as well, so I'd say he's out for the day.
And
that's a shame.
Listening, Foster got caught up in that as well, did he?
No, I think Foster had a clear gap. Yeah, Foster's out by himself out the front, so he's even in front of the pace car at the moment. There we go. So John's in the pits. Hamish's car looks pretty good, so I think he got away with that, but I'd like to see a replay to see who was at fault for that one.
So let's do exactly that now. Looked like it was a slide and a push.
Yeah, nah, John checked up a little bit in the corner, but that was definitely on Hamish, who just hit him in the back corner.
Yeah, he
and
did.
completely rotated the car.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, a couple of extras got taken out on the way through.
Yep.
So, disappointing end to the night for a couple of the drivers there.
It is, but look how many are a lap down already now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think Kelly in pit lane there may not reappear. Sorensen also in pit lane there.
Yeah, I think that might be out for a couple of them.
So we've got Foster in the lead again. Still from Hamish Gallagher. Stephen Williams in third position. Jason Harding in fourth. Mirko Dautanic in fifth, with Matty Hunter and Phil Otto rounding out the drivers on the lead lap. So just 7 remain on that lead lap. We've got Quijo, Kelly in the pits. We've got Carol Walden and Roger Clark that is, getting themselves around at the moment. Carl Whitty and Norm Clark out of this race at this point in time. Still sitting in pit lane, still getting repairs done, but multiple laps down on our race leader.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think when you look, I've just noticed Roger's left the server, so he's 4 laps down. So if he's out, you definitely would probably cross out Carl and Norman as well. So that's 3 out from the race, definitely so far. Is Josh?
So Josh is out as well.
Yeah, Josh is still in the pits. Lachlan's out on circuit, which is good to see. But his car's looking second hand, to say the least. And it looks like Owen Kelly has left the server, so he's done for the night as well. So that's unfortunate, because I think we would have been in for something quite interesting there. But that's racing. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, and we are gritting up to go green again.
So we've got effectively, unfortunately, 7 cars left in the field, but they are all on the lead lap. So let's see what comes of it. Edward Foster gets away to a good start again from Hamish Gallagher. Stephen Williams moving up a position there already as well into second. He is on the high line too, so he should be able to carry that through. Jason Hardigan fourth. Hamish Gallagher doing a good job just to keep the line down on the low part of the track there. So we'll just see these cars switching positions a bit here between Gallagher and Williams. High line certainly the preferred line.
Definitely. I think you can see Steve's going to be squeezed down a few spots
Yes,
here.
yeah, he's going to cost himself 3 spots, I think. Since they can keep it clean.
He's doing a pretty good job to hold it down there, but I just don't think he's going to get that momentum out of the corner. Smirko comes up the outside as well.
Yeah,
Steve's just slot back into
5th.
Into 5th.
Just wasn't
Yeah,
quite enough.
Yeah.
This wasn't quite enough room for him either to try and get a slide up into that top line to join the group. He sort of ended up getting penalised because the field was so congested. He wasn't able to get into that high groove.
That's it, and these cars are quite hard to sort of move up from one groove to another groove. Like, you've got to be really careful with them, because it's really easy to overcorrect them and send yourself into the wall. So you've got to do it in the right way. Unfortunately, he's lost a little bit of time there, but if he's got the pace, he'll come back. He might be playing the game waiting for that tyre phase. I think he might have gone a little bit hard early, and he's used some of the tyre up as well, because the car doesn't look like it's turning as nice through the middle of the corner as some of the other cars up the front are. As Hamish is hustling the back of Foster at the moment.
Absolutely, he is trying to make sure there's no ground given. They get it done.
Oh, he's having a look. Oh, he's gone for the slide. Oh, nah, not enough. Just not quite enough to have a crack there. It was a good effort, but... Oh, he's got another decent run. He's going to have a go, I reckon.
He just really needs to get...
If he can clear him into the turn, he's got to get a good drive out of 3 and 4 to really focus into 1 and 2, because 1 and 2 is a little bit wider than 3 and 4. where he can just throw it down. I think if he tries to throw it in 3 and 4, it's a little bit narrower, and it's not going to work for him. But if he can get a good run out of there, I reckon he'll come into here really nicely and get a good dive down the inside. But as I look, Hardigan, it's closed right back up on him as well. So all of a sudden, this has turned into a 3-car battle pack for the front lead again.
It's just a matter of where and if they can get it done. Hoping here for an extended period of green flag running so we can see this play itself out. There's Gallagher still all over the back of Edward Foster. Jump on the nose of the Gallagher car here. You can see the fuel cell there hanging down nice and low in the back of these cars. ATL fuel cell there. Just try and keep an eye on.
I love to watch how all 3 of them are using a different line as well. So Edward will run about half a car width above the white line. Gallagher is just slightly below him, and then Hardigan's just slightly below him again. So they're all trying to get the air on the front of the car to help the car to rotate a little bit more as they're coming up the lap traffic now as well,
Yeah.
which is going to play a part in this.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You can
this
see here, this is going to be dangerous potentially.
I saw what Hardigan was trying to do there. He's trying to use the teammate as a pick. So he's trying to hold Gallagher behind the lap car and try and get up beside him, so Gallagher had to back out of it. But unfortunately, it just wasn't quick enough to close that gap on the inside.
And of course, for those watching who aren't as familiar with this, there are no blue flags. So there's no requirement for the lap traffic to get out of the way of the cars coming through. So nothing wrong with trying to make that maneuver work for them.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody's running their own race. People that are a lap down are trying to fight to get back on that lead lap. That's why the Lucky Dog's such a great thing, because you're trying to race the guys that you might have 5 or 6 guys that are 1 lap down. You're racing them 5 guys to get that Lucky Dog as well. So it plays into a lot of different aspects of stuff. So you can't be just willing to give up a position, because there could be somebody behind you that's quicker than you, and if they're coming for you with that lap car and you've just been passed and they pass you, then all of a sudden you're stuck a lap down as Gallagher's just hit the wall out of the He didn't lose too much momentum from it, but he managed to pick it back up, and I reckon he's actually just got closer to Edward as we're coming back up to another lap car. I think that is Matt Hunter. Yes, I think it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
48 there, Matt Hunter, you're right. So
So it'll be interesting to see how they play this one, because Matt won't move out of the way as much.
no, which is good for us. So
It is.
we want to see the racing. We don't want it to be a procession.
We're already halfway through. We've only got 43 laps to go now. Oh, Gallagher's right there.
He's going to be able to have a go here in the next few corners, particularly with that lap traffic in the way.
If he can just get half a car width up beside Edward, he's going to box him in.
That's exactly what I was about to say. That's what he wants to do. Edward's trying to look to go low.
Here we go. Edward's got loose. He's going to have a look. Oh,
He's got it.
Oh, no. Just not enough rotation in the car mid-corner.
Oh, and
And now
Edward's
Edward's
got aggressive and moved his way out to make sure he gets past. Slide there as well. Lucky not to make contact with Hunter.
Oh. This is some really good racing. Really good. Oh, look at the run Gallagher's got out of there. Gallagher's definitely got the fastest car at the moment. He's just got to put the car in the right spot. Or he's playing the game with Edward to make Edward use the tyre up more. I'm not really sure which way he's playing it at the moment, but I feel like if he could get past him, he'll drive away from the field here.
Certainly strategically playing the game well.
I think the other factor is if we don't get another caution here, is who's looked after that tyre the best. Because all three of these front guys have not taken their tyres, so that could come into it at some point.
He's all over
right
him.
on that back bumper.
So, there's Harding there just having a look again down the inside just to see it. And we've got a caution out. And I can't see why that would be. Unless they're doing it to group the field back up. But no one crashed then. There's no cars off at all. So
Interesting.
I can only assume that they're doing it to bunch the field back up.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Disappointing. As that
Yeah, I don't think that would have been the case.
Mustang just drives right through the middle of them all.
Norman's back out on track, so maybe Norman's had a spin coming out of the pits. No, he hasn't left the pit lane.
So he's a long way down. He hasn't done anything. Haven't seen any.
Carl was back out on track, and now he's in the pits again.
No.
Carl, no.
I can't see any reason for it. And disappointingly, that means everyone's going to pit.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's a little bit of the strategy out of the game.
We've actually got one driver that stayed out.
So Phil Otto, the only driver who stayed out on track, along with Matt Hunter.
Who will get the lucky dog.
Who will
well, he'll get the wave around, so he'll be back on the lead lap.
He will, and maybe that's part of the idea behind it, is to get everyone that's left back onto the lead lap.
Yeah, I don't think so. These guys aren't known for throwing just admin cautions. It's weird that the cautions come out and we can't find it, but I wouldn't say that they've thrown it just for the sake of it.
We'll find out in a little while.
What lap are we? 64. So it's the caution around this lap 60. So it'll be interesting to know.
So the grid there will sort itself back out, but it is Phil Otto who is going to lead us away in this one, having not jumped into pit lane.
Which I think you're going to see these boys with the new tyres come past pretty quick.
Won't be too long before they've got some heat and they're off and running. In fact, it's
There we go. Gallagher's going to get the outside on Edward.
On a medium. Oh no! And there's a spin there that's going to cause yet another yellow flag. And that was all on Foster, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm just going back to look at it now.
Looks like, yeah, he's just got into the back corner of him.
Yep, just turned him round.
Turned him round, and that's another blown motor.
That's a shame.
So that is another car out of this race. I'm not sure that Foster's out, but
nah, Foster's car will be alright, but that puts Gallagher out, which I would say was Edward's biggest competition for the night.
And
so
it looks like Williams, so just following him on screen now, has got a damaged motor in that car, so he'll be out.
He's smoking as well.
Foster's still in pit lane. There'll be a fair chunk of repair to go on that one.
Okay, so he's still getting some work done as well. So this could play right into the hands of Phil Otto here.
He's
Or,
leading the race. Does he pit in and grab tyres now, or?
who else is on track? Hardigan.
Down to that, and Gallagher is basically the group. Matt Hunter's in pit lane as well.
Yeah, I would. So Gallagher's still on track, is he?
Gallagher is still on track.
Okay. If I was Phil, I would probably just stay out now and just sort of hope that you get a few more cautions.
So
you
what,
know that these boys are going to be closer, but what he could do is if he does get swamped and there is another caution, it's going to play into his hands because he's going to get fresh tyres with like 20 to go, and then he can really work at it that way.
so
So,
Hunter's left the pits. He's on his way out. So we've got
so
Otto, Doughton, Gallagher, Hunter, and Hardigan as the.
So if I was Phil, I would wait now, let them boys use their tyres up a bit first, and hope for another caution with maybe 15 to go in and get your tyres in, because you're going to be so much quicker than everybody. There's no advantage to him pitting now with only a handful of laps, they haven't even really gone green. They went half a corner with new tyres. You know what I mean? So there's the advantage of him going in and taking that fresh rubber now. It's not going to help him because he's only going to have a lap fresher tyres, if that. So if I was him, I would be patient. I would wait, hope for another caution with maybe 15, 20 to go in, new tyres, and then really go for it then.
And just noticed as well that Equajo is still out on track as well. So we've got 6 cars out on track as we speak. 5 of them on the lead lap. Otto, Hardigan, Dowdnack, Hunter,
Otto's got early.
and Gallagher.
Beautiful. Nice run out of the corner. If I was him, I'd slide straight up. Yep, beautiful, up to the top lane. Be really patient. Make the boys work for it.
You just never know what's going to happen behind you.
No, that's exactly right. He's got nothing for these guys with the newer tyres, but what you'll find is if it comes back to him, he'll be right. He'll come right back into this. Because you can see the gap already. He's just got to... His goal now is to hope for a caution and not go a lap down. That's the goal for him at this point in time.
It's Hardigan and Dowdnack are getting into it.
Yeah, where's Gallagher?
He is out.
Okay, so he's out as well.
So got a big slide there.
Hardigan's just had a moment.
He has. He's down on the inside lane and he's hit the wall on the inside.
So this is played into Mirko's and...
Well, really for Otto as well, who's back out in the lead of the race. So
yeah, Phil's really in a really good position at the moment. He's leading the race. We got 30 laps to go. If the caution comes out, he takes the tyres, and he's still going to be the quickest car on the track. Mirko's a lap down, so it's only him and Matt Hunter.
Otto, and Hardigan on the lead lap.
Yeah, and Hardigan's 10 seconds behind now from that spin. So he's got a lot of work to do in 30 laps to make up 10 seconds.
Absolutely. Needs the caution. Needs the caution.
Needs the caution. Definitely.
So,
although he's just pulled 4 tenths out of him on that lap.
yeah, well, he does have the advantage of the new tyres, of course. Hunter and Otto are going to fight for a little bit.
Hunter's got new tyres, but I don't think he's feeling as confident. From what you can see, he's just taken another 3 tenths out of him that lap. So I wouldn't dare to say that he'll be back at them in about 15 laps time, easily enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
But these two are side by side. I think Phil's going to play the right game here and just sit high, use the momentum off the top of the line. If Matt can slide up in front of him, he'll clear him. But Matt's still stuck in that middle groove at the moment. He needs a little bit more pace on the entry to then really shoot up in front of Phil.
Yeah, and in fact, he's lost time there.
Yep. and they are
Well.
bleeding time to Jason. Jason is coming rapidly.
And gap now down to just over 8 seconds. So needs to get the job done. He's clear now. He can slide up into that top groove. He's just not doing it.
He's confident enough to slide up there. He needs to really drive the car deeper in, or
He's got enough room now. He's not moving the car up when he's got the option. He can get there now if he starts to let the steering out.
There you go. He should clear it.
Oh.
He's too hesitant. He needs to just get into it and really push.
And just got notification again that Hardigan's had a crash, but he hasn't, I don't believe.
Well, he's a lap down now. He's in the pits.
Yeah,
so there's
right.
2 cars on track.
Literally just got the 2. Lachlan Equasio's still out on track. He's
Okay.
just 40 odd seconds down on the leaders here. As in all of that, Matt Hunter did get the move done.
Yep.
So there's Equasio there, actually listing now in 3rd position.
Yeah, so he is
2 laps down.
In 3rd.
So Hardigan there parked in pit lane. So what I can tell you is that someone here is going to get their first win.
Yeah,
of
definitely.
the series. We're not in a series, but the first win since we've been broadcasting for Ann's car between the 87s and tonight. So let's hope nobody else drops out. Otherwise, we're not going to have a full podium to interview at the end of the night. Between Hunter and Otto. I guess at this stage, if any of these drivers crash out, they'll still finish on the podium. So,
yeah, so Norman Clark's back out there running laps as well. He's right behind Phil. Stephen Williams is back out on track. No, he's not. It's just Norman. Sorry.
So that's Norm there. He's in the mix with Phil Otto.
Yeah, so, but he's 50 laps down, so...
Matty Hunter's escaped out to the front here.
Yeah, Matt's checked out on the field, which will be the new tyres. If there's a caution, which I don't think there will be now, but if there was a caution, Phil would come back at Matt, I think. But yeah, I don't see it. I think for me, Norman will probably get to... How many laps we got left? 16. So Norman's going to get to maybe Carl Whitty. Maybe. But that's about as far as he'll go. So he'll come 9th. So there's not much there. So yeah, so really we're just waiting now patiently.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
So while we're on the topic, we've got Bathurst this weekend, the official Bathurst iRacing race.
We sure do.
So looking forward to that one.
And how excited are you for that one, Stuart?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. It's a car that, as you know, I've battled with for quite a while. It's every Australian's rite of passage to race a V8 supercar, and albeit they turn out not to be quite as good as I expected against the GT Series. I think I finally got my head around how to get some pace out of it. So it's only taken, 9 months really. So
it's one of them things, man. It takes a bit of time, you know this. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend. I'm looking forward to it. So it's going to be the VMM Academy boys versus the 981 Motorsport boys. So hopefully we're in the same split. We can have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what comes of that. We've definitely been working hard on the setup of that car, and before that, obviously, we're there tomorrow night with the Porsche and the Audi as well. As part of the E-Championship, the Australian Endurance E-Championship.
Yeah, so that should be a little bit of fun. I'm hoping for the 5th win of the season, but yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm not feeling super confident about this one, so the car's not behaving how I would like it to.
Well, of course, we're going to jump out of this and straight into practice as Edward Foster rejoins the race.
Oh, beautiful.
After a lengthy 12.5-minute pit stop. So he's now back out on track as well. He will be hunting down
He could make it back to 5th, I reckon.
Just he's got 3 laps to catch up on Mirko there. So he'll get that done in the 8 laps that are left to go, and we'll probably take home that 5th position. In fact, he's really hunting down Jason, but I don't think he'll get there.
Nah,
He's done
we've only got
76
7
laps. We've only got 7 laps to go, so he won't get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and as just saying, we've got some practice after this to jump into in the Porsche and the Audi, so laps still to be turned.
That's it. Still got stuff to go. It's a late night for us tonight, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely right, as things continue to develop there. Looking forward as well to seeing what we've got on in this series next week. Also got the second last round of the Aus Pro-Am Sim Series next Tuesday night. That's going to be a good one. And warming up for Pty Ltd, which is running next weekend, that we're also fielding a couple of cars in. So busy couple of weeks in the iRacing world before things start to gradually wind themselves down as we head towards the Christmas period. And that counts for ourselves included. We will be having most of December off from broadcasting. It's been a reasonably solid 4 or 5 months into iRacing broadcast. In fact, it's just over 6 months that we've been into the iRacing broadcasting. So looking forward to a little bit of a break. Spend some time with the family, particularly over the Christmas period, which will hopefully be a little bit more normal than what we've experienced for most of 2020. What a blur it's been, even though it's been an unusual one.
It's gone very fast this year, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas and then gearing up, obviously, early next year for Daytona, when we kick it all off again to go again for another 12 months.
We do, and Matty Hunter has received the white flag. So this is the final lap of this race. He's going to take home the win as he does.
And if I'm not correct, this will be his first ever win in the AFTERSHOCK series.
I believe that is the case. Phil Otto finishing in 2nd place, and Lachlan Aquisio 4 laps down on the lead, finishing in 3rd.
See if Matty burns it down for us.
What a run, what a race that was. Certainly very different to what I was expecting. You'd expect that he's going to put on a fair old show here. Just almost driving it into the wall there. Just got to drop that clutch and get on with it. There we go. The show's on.
I'd say be a little bit nervous. His first ever win. It's I remember my first one, and it was a little bit daunting.
Yeah,
but, no, that's awesome.
Doing some good circle work there, and tonight is absolute proof of the age-old adage there, with good celebrations being joined in by Phil Otto too, that to win a race, or to finish first, to finish first you must finish, and certainly come home to roost tonight with Matty Hunter, Phil Otto, and Lachlan Aquisio. Would you say that is some sort of retribution there? He finished in front of Edward Foster.
I would say so to a certain degree. I would still say that he probably wanted to square him up, but I think Edward squaring himself up's probably done the trick anyway. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's good to see. So it's it's completely different podium. I don't think Phil's ever finished that high in an AFTERSHOCK race either. So congratulations to all 3 of the guys. They all put on a decent race, and like you said, they were the ones that had the least problems during the race.
So I'm just going to try and grab everyone into the comm box here. It's going to get a little tight and squeezy. We've only got a tiny little room here, but we've managed to grab Matty, Lachlan, and Phil into the room. Guys, what a race of attrition. Matty, congratulations on taking home what we believe is your first AFTERSHOCK series win.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much. Just more of a just really. Didn't really have any speed, but everybody else seemed to sort of work themselves out. So yeah, I'll pick up the pieces.
I was going to say absolutely, and we're just saying, the age-old adage, to finish first you must finish, and the 3 of you doing that in what was definitely a battle-torn evening for a majority of the field.
I don't know. I reckon my car probably had less horsepower than an old Daihatsu Charade at the end, but it got to the finish.
Well, we were waiting, Lachlan, for you to actually square Edward up at some stage during the race. We were anticipating retribution in some sort of, dare I say, psycho-esque style. But we didn't unfortunately get to see that, so we'll have to save that for another day. As Joshua Carroll-Walden's just posted a picture of MX5 in the
There's context to that one.
in the Discord there. So obviously plenty to come out of that one. And yeah, certainly a Waller of attrition. Phil, we were hoping for a yellow flag to come out so you could grab some fresh tyres towards the end there and put some pressure on Matt, but unfortunately not to be.
Wanted to do the turtle, start it back and come up front and let the rabbits run away. So
yeah, fair enough. It's certainly a strategy that worked tonight. So how did you find driving these cars?
it was good. First time I've ever done it. I only bought the track 10 minutes before we started tonight, so it's really good fun. Excellent fun, really good.
Excellent. Well, obviously we're not too sure what's coming up for next week. Anyone that you guys want to say thank you to while you are on the podium and have the ability to do so?
Just want to thank all the boys at ANSCAR for putting this on. It's hella good fun. Anybody out there wants to jump in and have a great night, can't beat it.
I want to thank all the blokes who took themselves out and got disqualified and let me get on third.
Thank the whole group, yeah, for taking themselves out. I'd like to thank you guys for the broadcast, and thanks to everyone who shows up to race on the races as well.
And no dramas at all. And it's probably more thanking all of the field for making way for you to get onto the podium.
Pretty much, yeah. Parting of the seas, really.
Anyone who hasn't watched the broadcast now won't get the picture of what truly went down tonight. No, but congratulations, obviously, for getting to the top step and taking out the race tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, boys. Good job.
Thanks, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
So, Chris, dare I ask who your driver of the night is?
I'm gonna have to give it to Matty Hunter. I've obviously worked with him for a while, so there's a little bit of a
bond.
A bond. So sort of thing. It's good to see him finally tick off that first win. I know he's worked pretty hard at it for the last 12, 18 months, really pushing himself as a driver. So yeah, that was really cool to see. I'm interested to see the Gallagher Foster square up next week. I think there might be a little bit of aggression towards each other, which will be good to see on the track. So, well,
of course, I've never had the benefit of sitting in race control, but I can tell you now that I think that if I were, Foster's probably getting 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm not sure that he'll be there next week. For
he might be out till next year, the way he drove tonight.
Any sort of retribution there after that little episode in race 1 this evening. Where he basically used Equisio as a sidecar to a motorcycle. So anyway, we'll see what comes of that. But no, obviously a fantastic result there for the drivers, and yet again another good, interesting mix of cars and track to get us out for this short ANSCAR series. So well done to the race organisers there. As was mentioned as well, if you are interested in getting involved in some oval track racing, you're looking for a friendly series to get involved with, to get some experience, definitely jump on board with the guys at ANSCAR to do that. They are a great crew, as you can hear there. No one took tonight too seriously. No one will get offended by what happened, and everyone out to have some fun and get to know some new cars and some new tracks. Obviously tonight being at Irwindale Speedway. So a great night all round. Would be remiss of us not lastly to thank once again our extraordinary network partners, AFTERSHOCK PC, Ryan and the crew in St Kilda. Jump online if you need a computer, advice, and great products as well. So they're the place to go if you're looking for it. And of course, Chris, Virtual Motorsport Mentor, equally one of our channel partners, as well as our special guest on Wednesday nights with expert comments in this race. Thank you very much for your contribution, not only to our channel, but to the wider iRacing community. You'll see Chris's logo on a fair number of series, and that is because he helps everyone out. And I'm not saying that just because you're in the room, but if you are after advice.
I appreciate it, man. It's it's something I enjoy doing, so I'm glad to sort of get back to as much as I can.
and you do that in spades, mate. So if you are after advice or you're looking to go faster, whether it be oval track, dirt, or if you're looking to get prepared for some endurance racing, circuit racing, whatever it might be, jump on Chris's website and organise a time to have a session with him. Even just down to simple things like how to set your sim equipment up correctly and making sure that you're maximising the equipment that you have got, even before you get into a car. It's like setting your mirrors, setting your seating position. When you get into a real car, there's stuff to do on your sim rig that I certainly had no idea about until I got in touch with Chris for myself. So jump on board and give support to those businesses that support the iRacing community in general. That's it from us. So you'll see us tomorrow night. We'll be on from 7:30 with the AEST series from Bathurst, and I'm looking forward to bringing you that one. It'll be a full grid. Lots of competition at the moment. I believe a couple of new drivers coming along as well, so that grid continues to fill as we get towards, I think, 40 cars running in that series. So it'll be an interesting race around Mount Panorama, and looking forward to bringing that one to you tomorrow night. That is us done for another evening on FGM ECast, your E-Place for Pace. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye for now.